We're off to a roaring start already. This is KainDeschain. I'm joined by my good friend Avon Chaos on commentary.
How's it going, everybody?
Welcome to Final Fantasy, the final installment in the Final Fantasy series, of course. Otherwise, why would they call it Final Fantasy? So do you enjoy fast-paced games with an intricate plot where you don't spend 45 minutes fighting the same monster over and over and over again? Do you enjoy buying more than one item in the game? Well, sorry, you're out of luck. Because that is not this game whatsoever. And we're going to start off with our red party. And Avon, if you wouldn't mind taking it away. Oh, actually, I forgot we're going to do it right this time.
Yeah, there you go. We're going to follow the strategy guide that went out back when this game first came out, right?
Exactly.
So
level 9 for Marsh Caves, exactly.
Right. So it'll be fighter, black belt, red mage, or white mage, black mage. What's going on here? That's not what you're doing.
You know, just marathon nerves.
Just gonna mix it up.
Here.
Confuse everybody.
Exactly. Okay. So we're ready to go. So I'm ready in 3, 2, 1. And again, it messed up. Why is it not working right? Okay.
Technical difficulties at the beginning are better than those.
There we go. Right? Perfect.
He's got a timer.
We're good
running.
to go. We got it.
So, inspired by all things Dungeons and Dragons, in the same vein that you have to build your character from scratch, they've just given you a pile of money to do whatever you want with. We're going to get these rapiers because they're fantastic for our party that's all melee at the moment. And then we're going to get some iron armor. Some steel. Yes, there's armor. We're going to get it.
We're going to get some kind of metal armor.
It's got metal in it.
Yes.
It's chains.
It's metal AF.
It might be iron. It's not called iron, but it's chain. I think this is great, too, because Kain was talking before this, like, hey, are you nervous? No, I'll be fine. And I can't speak straight after that.
That's okay. We're still raising money for a good cause. That's all that matters.
The story thus far is that the princess has been kidnapped, and we are going to go save the princess. And as all games that use that as your caveat for why you're out to go save the world, we're pretty sure the game's going to be over as soon as we do that. So we'll see. Princess is what, like 4 hours in? Something like that? Princess is about what, 4 hours in?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the goal of the game, so. It's about 4 in, you're right. Something like that. About 4.
So something you may have noticed, Kain took a couple of funny steps at the very beginning there. From start to finish, we know every place that we're going to get an encounter, as long as we don't make any mistakes. The game tries to fake randomness, and it does that by a step count. And every time we take a step, it increments us closer to our next encounter, which we are going to use to our advantage this entire game, because we're going to manipulate where each of the fights are that we get and what those fights are. Now, once we're in combat, we don't have any idea what's going to happen. There is a more recent run that has learned how to manipulate even the encounters, how the encounters resolve. But for us, that's actually going to be fairly random. Gonna get big 8 damage, miss a whole bunch.
Yeah, well, I got a 44, so I can't really complain too much. Wow, 44 and a 28, and I still don't have that. That's fine. Well, I don't take too much damage. We're fine. Just kill him fast. There we go. We're in.
So your estimate was what, 4 something?
4.
Or 4 even? All right.
Yeah, really. Unless we have some like 2 disasters, we should be fine.
Level 2 works great. That's because we got that ghoul. Here we are.
Alright.
Is that time?
Nope, not yet.
Oh, so we haven't got to the credits yet. I forgot.
Alright, so we got the loot. So, can't wait to use that.
Princess is saved, though, right? I mean, like, we're done? Just credits?
Well, I mean, you have to like, you know, the official, you know, you have to run the credits. Plus, you know, for other manipulation, like you can't really just go right to the credits. You have to come here. You have to get some cure spells. You have to get a tent. You know,
Oh,
just
sure.
to,
We
just
want
to
to make
like,
sure that we're
we have
all
to,
buff
you know,
and
something about the game memory or something. I don't really know. Thanks for the good luck, Corian. Oh, that guy got in my way.
So we're really kind of limited on our funds here for things that we would like. Some additional tents would be nice. Oh, he's denied.
Dude, of course. Thank you.
There you go. You'll find that the biggest adversaries in this game are the NPCs. There's nothing like a bat.
Alright, we did it.
Faster.
Time.
Oh, sweet.
Sorry, sorry I went over my 4 estimate. I apologize.
That's because that NPC.
So up next we got John Rossum's on darker side. Oh wait a second. Okay, well I guess I got time to do a little bit of the second quest.
All right. So that tent that we bought goes hand in hand with the fact that we know where our encounters are going to be. So we save the game, we start the encounter, we reset. Don't power cycle, just reset. And all the values are still held within the Nintendo's memory because you didn't clear anything. So it thinks that you've done that encounter. We're just going to skip it. We didn't want to do that one.
Alright, thank you.
If we had more tents, we would skip encounters all the way to Provoca.
And believe it or not, this is actually one of, if not the most dangerous part of the game, really.
Yeah, at this point we're level 2, and we're going to try to take on some ogres. Ogres are our best option at this point for experience and money, and until you're about level 4 or 5, they are extremely dangerous.
Jeez.
Now that said, we've got a couple of cure spells. Our party, for the most part, as long as there's not a crazy critical hit, won't die in 1 or 2 hits. We walk down as far as we do here because 2 ogres, of course.
Yep.
So we actually want, like, to really have the easy path, we want one ogre here. Like I said, our party's only level 2. Getting 2 ogres is a bonus just because of all the extra money and experience it's going to give us. If you really wanted to risk it...
Got a pretty good first ogre, so that's lucky.
Nice. Yeah, if you're really looking to risk it, you want 2 ogres all the time, because if you're going for best time, it doesn't matter if you die, you don't have a marathon that you're trying to get a specific time for.
We'll get to that, Trisnell. Don't worry.
Oh, I missed it. Yeah.
Oh, Trisnell's asking if we're going to utilize the Peninsula of Power. I mean, I don't know. I guess we can get into it now, I guess.
Yeah, so... let me think. Yeah, we can go to it now. I'll do it now.
Sure.
All right, so the Peninsula of Power is a really unique... it's almost a bug, more an oversight. When they mapped out the area to the northeast of this town, there's a peninsula to the north that a couple of its squares actually cut into the zone above it, which is the encounter area for Lufania. So there are all sorts of scary, dangerous monsters there. But if with a little strategic planning, you can very easily set yourself up to be able to kill them at low levels. The trouble with that is we would need either the harm spells for the zombie bulls, or you'd need Fire 2. And all of those are things that we're not going to see until level 6 with this party that we've got. So we've got to have a way to get to level 6 before we even get there. With all that you would have to do to move around to go to Elfland to get your Fire 2, get your levels through here and through Elfland, then to finally get to Peninsula of Power, there's all sorts of other things that we're going to do in the meantime to get those levels. We're pretty much going to have Marsh Cave cleared out at that point. So if we did want to go to Peninsula of Power, it would really slow us down in other areas of the game. Not to say it's bad, it's just not the fastest.
buddy.
Uh-oh. I hear Kain yelling.
Burning question. Oh,
All right.
good, Corian. I'm glad you're excited for the run. We're excited for it too. Hopefully we actually don't die to chaos this year.
So Bicky is terrorizing this town, and we are going to solve that with swords. The pirates are sadly the weakest monster in the game. They only have 6 hit points. You could basically do this with a party of black mages and their little knives. The only thing that is hurting us at this point is when we miss. So it's going to take a couple extra rounds. And Final Fantasy, the original for the Nintendo, wasn't too kind to the player when it came to allocating your targets. When when Kain goes to attack something, if it dies before that attack executes, when it comes time for that attack to happen, it'll simply just fail. And the monsters, on the other hand, don't have that problem. If a party member dies that a monster was going to attack, it will simply just attack a different party member. You'll see later versions of the Final Fantasy games correct that. As for why it was done this way here, who's to say? We're going to get some tents here, and this is going to set us up for our first batch of experience grinding. The area southwest of Provoca is unique in how it has 3 zones that overlap, or not overlap, but they all butt up next to each other. Think like you're in the United States, you get the 4 corners of 4 states. You can basically stand in all 4 of them at the same time. There's a spot that does basically that here. So what we're going to do is we're going to maximize the number of ogre encounters, because each of those 3 different zones has a different rate at which the ogres show up. First, though, we're going to take a little boat ride. Skip some encounters, because our first ogre encounter is too far away for us to get to. And the way encounters work in the water is different than they work on the land. So Kain can take a huge trip there, and he's actually skipping a whole bunch of potential encounters on the land. Now that he's done all that sailing around, he's able to get to this very specific corner right here. And this is our first of many, many ogres. I hope you like this ogre model.
I know, right?
Yeah. So, like, if you look at that ogre model, and you see,
phone.
like, the club...
Get my phone? Sorry.
It's got the little...
Oh. Alright, there we go.
We'll just wait for Kain to find
Sorry
us.
about that. Just like my son just came back over, or he's going over to his nana's house. I apologize about that.
You're not allowed to have a family experience.
I am not.
I'm sorry. No.
Okay, so double ogre. It's fine. It's a little more fine now, but
for now, these fights are going to go really not too fast. The mages and the fighters, they're about on par with each other for the damage that they do. What we're waiting for is level 5. At level 5, the fighters get more accuracy, and that is what determines if you get to make multiple hits. Once the fighters start making multiple hits, you're going to see them punch on average between like 40 to 70 damage. And on a critical, they might just kill an ogre with 1 hit. It'll be fantastic. Until then, kind of slow.
I wasn't counting there very well.
So, let's see. Got my notes. I'm not even in the right spot on my notes. Oh my gosh. Kain, why would you have me do this?
I have no idea. I'm starting to regret it already.
So I'd mentioned earlier the party composition that you see in the Final Fantasy Strategy Guide. And for the most part, there's no harm in any party members that you want to use when you're playing casually. But we want to go fast. and fast is really important. So we've optimized this party based on a number of things. I'm going to talk about what characters we didn't use first. As for melee, a lot of people love the black belt. The trouble the black belt has early is that his damage takes quite a while to come up to speed. You don't see him starting to do comparable damage to the fighter until he's in his late 20s. And we're gonna have the game finished in the low 20s, so we really don't have time to wait for the black belt to come into his own. We would struggle quite a bit with how low level we're going into some of these places at if we were counting on him for damage. For the mages, the black mage is actually used in the world record strategies for this game. We want a little more safety, so we're going to use 2 red mages. In the world record route, you actually kill off one of your party members so that experience is distributed evenly amongst the living party members, which gives you 3 characters that are still alive to get all that experience. It's fantastic. For safety, we've got the 2 red mages. Goes a little slower, but overall it's not that bad. Even though the black mage does get more spells earlier, the way the mechanics work for spell damage or healing power, it doesn't matter. It's bugged. So black mage, white mage, red mage, they are all the same proficiency at spells.
But this is what Avon means about the kind of the 4 corners thing, where I'm in, kind of the lower, the southeast quadrant now, and then there's the western, and then there's the one to the northeast that where I fought the iguana. So it's
this encounter that he's in right now is actually the same encounter outside the ice cave. It just happens that the way the squares are shaped, that zone cuts into this area. All the encounters throughout the map is just a sequence of grids, and they kind of built the map around those grids, and in some areas they didn't really pay attention to how they were laying out, which is how you get this ice cave encounter zone so close to Provoca.
As well as the Peninsula of Power.
Exactly. There's also, I don't know if you knew this, there is one tiny square right next to, was it Northwest Castle?
Mm-hmm.
With Astos. There is one square that has the
with
encounter
who?
tables.
You mean the king?
Oh yeah, the king. I'm sorry. Astos stole his crown.
Yeah, he's lost his whole crown. You always get that mixed up.
I do. I'm sorry. So that one little square next to the castle is actually part of the encounter zone for outside of Melmond. What's nice about that is you can get those big green ogre parties. I think it was Fiesel that did some experimenting with that to see if he could get a way to optimize leveling over there. But we found it wasn't any faster or any significance given what was necessary to set it up. Because you have to do a bunch of saves over and over to progress through that zone.
I believe the single character class runs. Some of them do that. Like I believe Thief utilizes that. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, single Thief is impossible because you have to grind Thief, I think, up to level 50 before you can even defeat Astos. Or something 50? Like that. Well, you have.
30s.
Well, I mean, it's still. I mean, at that point, when you're fighting ogres and whatever else.
Yeah. Speaking of poor characters we don't use, the Thief. My heart goes out to that beautiful blue-haired freak, but he has.
And he becomes a ninja.
He becomes a ninja, right?
And then he's just cast aside the blue sheep of the run, so to speak.
The Thief's melee is his melee stats are not good. They do not progress well. He has low hit points. We're talking like on the levels of a mage. His available items that he can equip are disastrously poor. And the one thing he's supposed to be good at, which is running, doesn't work in this game. And I'll get into that later. I mean, it does work. You'll see us run, right? But it's not calculating anything like you would expect. So Black Belt doesn't have the physical damage we need. Thief is just super, super sad. The Black Mage doesn't give us any of the resilience or survivability that we need, even though he's really good at those Black Mage spells.
Yo, thanks for the good luck, Shady.
The White Mage that we would think we could use for survivability, he doesn't have anything offensive. It'd be really nice to farm on undead monsters with the early harm spells that he gets, but undead monsters are super scary because they can very easily stun lock your entire party. Part of what we've done this first group of encounters with the ogres for is specifically for those short swords. It's going to make the fighters fairly scary at this point. We got a couple of ice spells for our red mages. We're going to use those later for some specific fights, and we can use them now to kind of make a few of the fights a little faster, but you've only got 2 charges, so it's almost inconsequential. So given those 4 characters that we don't use, we're left with the fighter and the red mage. Fighters, like I've said, amazing damage. They can use almost everything in the game. Red mages are great early. They've got good physical for a mage. They're going to do a lot of heavy lifting for their spells early. And then eventually, the only thing we're going to need the red mages for is a couple of heal spells and the fast spell when the fighters are just unkillable powerhouses. So I'd mentioned there was a running bug. There's a whole bunch of bugs in this game. It's very sad.
Well, you should maybe just go over the things that work, I think. Well, although we do have a lot of time to fill, so yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, we only have 3 hours left, so I don't know. Maybe you wanna.
I should space it out. I could do that.
No. You should get going right now if you want to get all the bugs in before the. Okay, so sorry. Go ahead, go.
Oh, it's good. So that running glitch I was talking about, rather than what was intentional, the idea is that you have a luck stat that would be based off of the speed or something, another stat that the monsters have. But we're going to ignore both of those stats. We're never going to use either the monster's speed stat or our luck stat through the entire game. Instead, when you try to run with the first character, he's going to reference the status of your character member or your party member that's 2 slots below him. So if your party member in the 3rd slot is dead, it's actually a lot harder for the first person to run. Right about the time you get later in the game, oh boy, what level is it? I'm so bad. I think it's 15. I think at 15, you'll never get any better at running. And it doesn't matter what class you are. And your first and second party members, as long as the member 2 slots below them is alive and healthy, are going to have really good chances to run. That 3rd party member, he doesn't have anybody 2 slots below him, so he's going to look at some random junk data that I was going to find the name of and I missed. Boy, I just put in my notes identifier entry for attacks. Supposedly that meant something to me when I wrote it down. I don't know.
Well, supposedly meant something to the programmers when they put it in the game, maybe.
I have to imagine that they simply mistyped a value. I would wonder if you went through all their calculations and maybe just shifted a number 1 digit. You transpose some numbers when you're typing a whole lot. These guys were in a hurry. It was literally the life and death of their company was going to be this game. And
too bad they epically failed. Well, no, what do you mean? This was the Final Fantasy.
Yes, the final first fantasy.
No, the Final Fantasy. Well, I mean, it's not like there'd be something dumb like a Final Fantasy 2, right?
Right.
That'd be kind of dumb.
It would be even dumber if you released Final Fantasy 2,
yeah,
and then Final Fantasy 3, and then just cut right to 7.
No, you know what would be wicked dumb?
Just skip everything in between.
You know what would be wicked dumb? Let's say you had Final Fantasy 5, right? And then you're Instead of making Final Fantasy 6, you're like, let's make a Final Fantasy 5-2, right?
Oh no, we did
That'd
that
be
with
great.
10.
What?
We did with it. We're gonna get to 10, and
What
then
do you
we're
mean?
gonna go to 10 too. Yeah,
10
counting
too?
in Final Fantasy. So counting in Final Fantasy.
Okay,
1,
yeah.
2, 3, 7, right?
7!
8, 8, 9, 10, 10, 2,
10,
then 11.
10, 2, then 11?
Yes. It makes total sense. Yeah, unfortunately for those of us in the United States, we kind of got skipped out on a bunch of the early titles.
Oh no. I didn't
Yeah,
notice where the was at. Please don't die, the.
He'll be fine.
Famous last words.
Right. You got this. A couple of cure spells just to back it up.
Cure.
Fine.
An MMO. Where's that? A marshmallow obsidian role-playing game?
You take that back about 11. I love that game.
I loved 11.
Oh man.
My college got ruined because of 11.
The only issue, like, if I could go back in time and fix one thing, I would make them never release it for the PlayStation. The interface, if you're not using a controller, is atrocious.
Oh, I
tried playing it on PC and it broke my heart because it's so hard to target anything.
Anyway, back to the 1987 game.
Oh yeah, so Nintendo was releasing in the United States almost a year later than it was releasing in Japan, sometimes over a year. And with where Final Fantasy was when it got made, and then the sequel, it was too close to the launch of the Super Nintendo. So they never got around to bringing that to the United States. But when they did bring a title to the United States, it was actually Final Fantasy IV. And yeah, they're like, United States people don't need to know that they just skipped 2 games. We'll just give them Final Fantasy IV as Final Fantasy II.
And so then they released Final Fantasy 3, which was really Final Fantasy 5, right?
Yeah, no, 3 was Final Fantasy 6.
Wait,
just to really, really drive it home.
I don't know what's more convoluted, this or the Zelda timeline.
Well, this timeline is only messed up because of distribution and region lockouts. Yeah, Zelda's got issues with writers.
No, yes, the actual...
I said it. I'm calling it out.
They're just like, it's whatever. Before this, after this.
So I didn't even mention our 4th party member and his ability to run. We got sidetracked.
Oh, that's right.
You're going to see a lot of times through this run, Kain is going to encounter something that's going to be particularly scary. The first 3 party members are going to try to run away, and the 4th party member is going to try to do anything else. And the reason is that the 4th party member's a chance to run is referencing some super junk data that makes it almost impossible for him to run. He's got roughly a 10% chance or less to run the entire game. So sometimes it'll just be safer to have him throw a spell to try to reduce the number of enemies, or heal somebody, or do anything that's not running. It's just not reliable. We've got, do you know there's an issue with critical hits? It's really sad.
Oh, another bug.
Yeah. One thing I noticed playing the game casually is that all of my weapons hit, the better the weapon, the better its chance to critical hit. I think if you've played this any ridiculous amount of times like I did when I was young, that would start to become apparent. What happened is that rather than referencing the actual stat on the weapon for critical hit, we started referencing the index number of the item. So the first item on the list is the small dagger, I think. So the way the calculation works out, that weapon has a 0.5% chance to critically hit. And then as you get up to the Massmune, the last item, it's item number, I don't even remember, my brain's not working, 50-something. High 40s, low 50s, right? So it's like 20, 25% chance to critically hit with the Massmune. It was never meant to do that. Its critical hit rate was like 10 or less. I'm just guessing now. I don't even know. The Vorpal Sword was supposed to be amazing at critical hits. Sorry, it's just not great.
Looks cool though.
It does look cool. There are other equipment bugs to really drive it home also. Your weapons that are supposed to do special damage, giant sword, your ice sword, your fire sword, dragon sword, sounds really cool because they got the name of their effect in their weapon description.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they do nothing. The way damage gets calculated, it actually applies the damage before it calculates how much extra damage would be done. So it's like trying to do math class and screwing up your order of operation. It's very important. So with that, your enemies, though, their attacks work perfectly.
Oh, of course.
If they've got a fire-based attack, it's going to do fire damage to you. It's fantastic.
And if one of your character dies, they retarget.
Yeah, they do. They don't have to worry about any of the bugs. It's great.
So they cheat. Although that critical hit thing helps. I mean, that's pretty much the only reason why we can beat Chaos and stuff at low levels.
Oh, yeah, because you're able to just blow tons of critical hits on them. It's fantastic. Intelligence. Intelligence doesn't work in this game. This game has no intelligence. Intelligence was supposed to factor into how much damage or healing a spell would do. And unfortunately, fortunately, unfortunately, right? Fortunately for us, it doesn't matter because it means that the Red Mage is the best class to pick. But the Red Mage actually doesn't have that great of an intelligence stat. So if it worked properly later in the game, he would not be good at all for most of the spells compared to Red or Black, White or Black Mage.
Although we would still only use them for fast anyway.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it would matter at probably like Lich. It would be important, but
oh yeah.
Yeah. So at this point here, we're gonna buy a bunch of stuff from Marsh Cave. The shops that we go to throughout this entire run are optimized in that each time we go to a location, we want to visit that location as few times as possible. The vast majority of your time in this game is going to be spent through walking places and buying things very, very slowly in shops. If, for example, we wanted to buy this at Elfland, the shop is farther from the entrance. We don't have a reason to go into Elfland before we go to Marsh Cave other than to save. And there's actually more items in the Elfland item shop. And the game has to take time to draw each line. You'll notice ever so slightly that when a menu comes up, it slowly rolls down as it populates. Casually, I mean, it's pretty fast. You'd almost never know until you've bought, 70 heal potions. But for us, it's the way we go through these menus and we do it enough, it's going to save seconds off the run. I mean, we're talking, 4-hour run, but seconds are important. Every little bit helps. Kain, you're going to get your little skip here.
The what? The skip.
Is there a little skip here that you have trouble with?
No, that's on the way
What's
to...
the next?
That's on the way back from when we go to Mummy Grind.
Okay, I'm already out of order then. Ignore me. I'll just stop.
I don't have any tents here. Well, for that anyway. Dun, 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 dun. That was actually really first half, really fast first half of the Overgrind, or at least Provoca version, I'm saying.
Oh, I don't even see your splits, I just see your current time, so I didn't even think about that. Yeah. So here we are on our way to Marsh Cave. Elfland, we don't want to talk to you right now.
Nope,
There's a couple extra encounters that we're going to do here. We want to get level 6. That's going to give us our first batch of spells for the Red Mages. That's going to be really critical for what we do in the Marsh Cave. There's one particular encounter that is, it's not dangerous to us because of how we go into it, but it is a hard fight. The wizards are going to do a whole pile of damage. If you had to go in there without Lightning 2, it would be very difficult to kill that fight and not have somebody dead, or even everybody dead at the level we go in. With Lightning 2 and with how we skip a whole bunch of stuff to get there, it's not trivial, but it's almost trivial. Here's another spot where several zones kind of meet up next to each other. You see how Kain steps one to the left, goes up and down a bunch until he gets a counter, steps one to the right, goes up and down until he gets an encounter. Each time he's changing zones, and when he changes zones, there's a whole different table that's referred to for what monster he's going to get next. And again, it just optimizes ogres. Ogres.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time mapping out the encounters, figuring out the optimum way to move. So yeah, as in 0.
Yeah, the one thing about this run in particular is we are really standing on the shoulder of giants.
Oh, absolutely.
Almost figuratively, as there's ogres in front of us. He's fine. He's fine. So it was boy, and I hope I'm not wrong. I want to say it was Fiesel and Gyre that did the first runs of this game that really figured out you could actually speedrun this game. It was one of those things that had always kind of been a pipe dream. Like, wouldn't it be great if we could run this? We can't really predict anything. And then people started to slowly figure out, like, no, you can predict things. People noticed that when they would power the game on and go sailing, their first encounter would be the Kaizakus. In the original marathon runs of this game, those Kaizaku encounters were actually where you got a bunch of your money early. Turned out that it was more efficient to fight the ogres, but it was a critical piece to getting us where we are today. With what Fiesel and Gyre did to get us this version, it was again Fiesel that started to, I want to say it was in 2019. I don't remember what event it was at. 2019, it was Fiesel and F. Coughlin. They were talking about the potential to manipulate every aspect of the game. And Fiesel had figured out that he could get to the Marsh Cave, and the entire way he knew everything that was going to happen. And it was F. Coughlin that then took that one step further, and he managed to write a tool that would map out every instance of everything that's going to happen through the entire game. There is no random chance in the now any percent run. We actually had to change this title from any percent to any percent no. Is it no
RNG manipulation?
Thank you. Like, suddenly I forgot what it was called. As you go through your menu to take actions, the RNG is constantly cycling. Every moment that you don't do an input, every frame you don't do an input, that value increments by 2. So even doing something as simple as arrowing down a couple of options, go into a spell, it's impossible. It's not impossible, but it's nearly impossible for a person to do that with frame perfect inputs and not make mistakes. So F. Coughlin found that through backing out of the menu, it gives you an opportunity to just do a single advance of 2 in that RNG table, because you can just hold the button and you can be frame perfect because you're buffering it. So you could either back out of the menu to advance by 2, or hold A to just select the next option. And the whole fight is him just backing out of menus over and over and over until he can hold A to kill him.
Command?
Exactly. If you've ever seen the Dragon Warrior speedrun that does the RNG manipulation, it's the same thing. They back out of the menu and it reprompts with the command message. And it's the same way. It's not the same way exactly, but it's very, very similar from our perspective.
And I like this part of the game on the run, because this is like, the first time you're really kind of at least going on a mission. You're not grinding, it's not just going quickly up to kill Garland or the pirates, like, you know, you're actually going through your first dungeon.
The
Even though
I would
Marsh
say
Cave sucks.
Marsh Cave was brutal. Casually, there are so many things in the Marsh Cave that will absolutely annihilate you.
And even in the run, remember our first test run? Remember? or do we not speak of that?
I don't think of that kind of stuff.
Wow.
It never. It's in the past. The past is gone.
Well, it was these mucks that are coming up that did it. So let's not muck this up.
I'm gonna put air quotes in here. Usually the mucks are not a problem, but when you get 3 of them and they strike first, the mucks hit really, really hard. If they didn't hit so hard, we would actually probably farm them because their experience and gold rewards are amazing.
Yeah, we got the risky bat coming up. Let's not forget to talk about that when that comes up.
Yeah, with how we've mapped out all of these, all of our steps through these dungeons, any bat in our way is a problem. This one is particularly troublesome. You'll see him on the right here in just a moment. Oh, he's in the way. So, had he gone into this room before that bat moved away from the front of the door, he wouldn't be able to leave. When you enter a room, NPCs outside the rooms, like bats, they stop moving. And because they disappear, all you would know is that you've opened the door and you can't leave. You'd have no idea that there's a bat in your way unless you saw it when you went in. It's a really good thing he checked. It's kind of funny. It's so trivial the chance that bat moves in front of the door. I usually make fun of Kain when he stops to look for it. Oh, where's the bat? I'm like, you're fine, just go for it. And this is the one time that had he gone in that door, he'd have been stuck. So it's a good thing he doesn't listen to me.
Well, it wouldn't have. Well, actually, as long as you notice it before you, if I had stepped into the room, I would have been fine because I could have just walked out of the room because it's still free steps.
Where it's a problem is if he has to start taking steps that increment the step count. That's when it's a problem. Yeah. Fortunately, there are some weird places where the step count doesn't matter, like right here in front of that door. So in front of the door, the southern edge of rooms, with the exception of one room in the final dungeon, they don't count for some reason. When you walk in front of those spaces, it doesn't increment your step count. Here we're going to get some iron armor. It's going to stick with us for a vast majority of the game.
And really vast majority of the game. Like, we get rid of it in like the second to last dungeon.
As good as other pieces of armor are, if they can't, we're going to give the best equipment is going to go to our fighters, but we also want to make sure that the mages get some good stuff too. That iron armor is as good as the gold bracelet for the purpose of absorption. And absorption is what really counts. Absorption is always there for you. It always reduces damage. It is not like the fickle mistress that is evasion. Evasion is sweet and tempting, but when she's not there, oh, is it a problem. 4 wizards is a double-edged sword. It's nice to get this much experience. It's a bit of a bonus, but you can run into situations where they don't all die in the first round. And it's extra attacks that are going at your party.
They're usually not that much. I mean, it does open up the possibility, but for the most part, as long as you're not already wrecked and low on health, it's not usually a problem. So I'd always take okay, let's get the crown too, please.
Yes, do get the crown. It would be really sad if you got to the king to give him his crown and went, oops, I forgot.
I know, and then he'd be upset because, you know, he's counting on us.
Right. Yeah, had we gone and talked to people throughout this game, which we're never going to do, you would know that the elf prince has a curse cast on him that put him to sleep. Matoya's crystal was stolen by Astos. Astos stole this poor guy's crown. Why Astos threw it in this dungeon here, we'll never know.
Yeah, we're a strong advocate of social distancing in this run. Very safe.
Don't talk to anyone. Stay away from everyone. 6 feet from all NPCs, except for bats.
Well, we would stay 6 feet away from bats if we wanted to, but
bats are not that helpful.
No. Wow, a no poison marsh cave. I'll take it. It's actually
That's fantastic.
it was actually a really good marsh cave, and we only have the shadow fight left. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that marsh just to say, like, that marsh cave right there was about as good as you could reasonably hope for. So I'm very happy with that, because this is one of the places that can really, you know, wreck a charity run, because we'd have to save outside, skip a whole bunch of encounters, and just wouldn't be fun.
And that generally dealing with poison is such a problem. They tried to be nice to you in that if your party member's poisoned, we're going to put him in the back of the party so he doesn't take more damage. Except that, what a pain. Your guy with the best armor is now at the back of the party. That's not where you want him.
Especially since it's like, you know, it happens after battle when you're just going to be healing him ostensibly anyway.
Exactly. What makes it even worse is it's supposed to just shift everybody up, but the way they calculated moving the characters is wrong.
Oh, is it?
It is wrong, yeah. So you'll find, I've actually had it happen, and I wish I could remember what situation it was. I had a character that was turned to stone, and then in the next fight, someone got poisoned, and it moved the character who was turned to stone to the front of the party.
Nice.
Which is also not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to be able to have the first party member dead or stone or whatever. But yeah, it was kind of nice because he was out walking around on the mini-map and he was a statue.
Oh, really?
So
even on the mini-map? Oh, wow.
Yep.
I didn't know it actually affected the overworld sprite.
Yeah, your overworld sprite is always the character in the first spot. Unlike later Final Fantasies where you can choose which sprite you want shown, you can only choose the first sprite.
Oh, I thought it, but it wasn't gray or anything. It still looked like the sprite.
Regular sprite, no changes or anything.
Oh, okay. I thought it looked like gray or whatever. I was like, that would be pretty cool.
I figure what happened is the party members realized that he was leading the party, so they painted him so that I wouldn't know.
Yes.
Then they just pushed him, they wore him as a hat, you know, because they're looking top down. How did I know? You know, they painted them. They were wearing him as a hat, and off they went.
Yeah, that's what they did.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did.
So we're off to return the crown to the king, the nice king. The totally not sus king.
Yeah, in his dilapidated castle full of bats.
Yeah.
Like, the moment we knew there was a problem, it was because of the bats. Like, we hate bats so much.
I mean, name one good place with bats in this game. I mean...
Yeah. So what you'll notice there before Kain went into the castle is he actually skipped an encounter. We set that up in case something bad might happen here. Now what bad? Oh no.
Oh.
Oh crap.
Oh no, it's Astos.
Totally
blindsided.
Who knew?
Yes.
So, Kain is super excited about that poor fighter dying. Why? Why would you be so excited about that?
Because it wasn't a mage.
Exactly. The mages do so much heavy lifting early in the game. We need them to get as much experience as possible. With a fighter not getting experience, that means the mages are getting that much more experience from this. So it's going to put them ahead just a little bit more. The fighters will definitely catch up later in the game. You may notice that somebody else later in the game might be defending us from the floor. I'm not going to spoil that. You guys will get to see that here in about like 9 hours or something.
Something like that. eight and a half if I get good RNG.
Exactly. So the game also doesn't give you any indication that you just got something from that fight. After killing Astos, you get the crystal, and I don't know, maybe if you were just going to check your inventory at some point and figure it out, but I couldn't imagine playing this blind, doing that fight, and going, now what? If you never
because I think that if you go to Matoya first, she says that Astos took her thing. So when you defeat Astos, you might think, oh, hey, well, did I get that crystal? Or you might think...
I would hope so. Hopefully you would be well-minded enough to go, maybe I got something.
Another bonus to Link dying is that we get this badass red mage sprite for until now.
Right. probably one of the sexiest sprites in the game. That's really
sure.
the real reason that we have the red mages in the party.
I mean, to be honest, yeah, the long, flowing, beautiful, feminine hair. I love it.
Gorgeous red hat with a feather. Like, I should get a red hat with a feather. Like, why don't I have one?
Red hat with a feather?
Yeah.
Well, who says you can't? You're a grown-up.
I should do that. I'm going to do that today.
There you go. Why you should have done it for the run? We should have done webcam.
Oh, exactly. Just looking at that hat.
Oh, you know what you should do? You should get a cute little red mage hat for your bird. That would be cool. Good. Now that would be... think about how many viewers and subs you would get on your stream.
He'd probably take the hat off and shoot it with his laser beam eyes and start out a fire.
Oh, okay. Cool. Me too.
One of the things we're going to do here... He knows we're talking about him. He's going to start making noise now.
Oh, great.
One of the things that they've done to pad the game out, you'll see this a lot in older RPG games. They make you double back a whole bunch to areas you've been. So now we're just going to run around and deliver all the items that we've acquired.
Classic NES move.
Yeah. Toya gets the crystal, she gives us the herb, we go back to the prince gives us the key. Key lets us unlock a whole bunch of doors. Once the doors are unlocked, we get a whole bunch of new treasure that makes us allows us to open up the rest of the game.
Yeah, we get a key, which is just get another item to give to another guy, so we can get more items.
So the early portion of the game, they really do a good job to limit where you can explore. Had they not almost completely spoiled the entire game with just the manual that was released in the United States.
Always grab the chest before you restore her eyesight, so you have plausible deniability.
Exactly. You can't let her see theft.
Oh no, I don't know what happened to your potions, lady.
That's so weird.
I hope you find them.
And it's funny, so I think it was Gyra that actually did the math on whether or not it was faster to get those potions or it was faster to buy them in a shop. And it turned out it was faster to get all three of them by, I want to say, 1/3 of a second. So, yeah, some real critical time saves.
Also, this is world record pace now. But that was a pretty good potion skip I just did. I might have saved 0.6 seconds.
Moving faster than everybody else ever could.
Exactly.
There you go. All right, we're on our way to Elfland.
We have to get the herb. We've got more. Yeah, again, we're still in the middle of this just long fetch quest of going back and forth. And I remember when I was playing this game as a kid that I didn't know where to go, what to do, and then I found the glorious strategy guide. I use it as my background for my splits. I love it that much.
The strategy guide was actually really fantastic. It had a lot of great information in it. It did not leave anything to players' discovery, though. It literally tells you on the first, was it page 9? It tells you need the TNT for chapter 2. So it was not messing around at all.
And don't be jealous, but Avon does have a physical copy of the Final Fantasy strategy guide.
I do. It looks like it's gone through a dishwasher about 5 times, but I still have it.
What, do you have a Bubble Bobble strategy guide? Those are the...
I do not have a Bubble Bobble strategy guide. Why?
Should I go?
Would someone?
Should I go into my Bubble Bobble story for this? I think we have time.
Yeah, do that. I'm gonna deal with my bird. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. So, my dad would, every once in a while take me to Toys R Us to get a new video game. Like with you look at the flaps of the different covers, and you pick out what game you want. You take the slip to the back or to the front, and you get your game. And one time we were looking through, and I wanted to get Bubble Bobble, And my dad goes, "No, how about well, why don't you try to get this game? You know, it's got like some cool, you know, dragon on it and swords, and I don't know, it looks really cool. Like, well, how about you get this one?" And I'm like, "No, I want Bubble Bobble. Like, look, it's cool. I saw it in like, you know, Nintendo Power or whatever, and I want Bubble Bobble." He's like, "I'm telling you, look at this game. It's so cool." And he's like, "I want Bubble Bobble." You know, being a petulant 7-year-old that I was. And so he ends up actually getting both of them, and then, you know, weeks later, Bubble Bobble is a forgotten memory, and Final Fantasy to this day is one of my favorite games of all time. And so my father still won't let me forget about it. Like I told him I was running this in a category. He's like, "You sure you don't want Bubble Bobble?" It's like, "Dad, it's been 35 years. Can we not?" So
you did get Bubble Bobble, though, so
well, and I did get Bubble Bobble as well, but yeah,
35 years is not enough time. I want Bubble Bobble. Okay, I have moved the bird into another room,
Okay, good.
so hopefully he will not be contributing to the speedrun.
The kitchen and the oven? Yeah?
No.
Oh. What's the
He's a
bird's
lovely bird.
What's the bird's name again?
The bird's name is MacGyver.
Oh. That is like the most awesome name for a bird ever. 17.
Yeah, he's an African gray. They're like the intelligence of like a 3 or 4-year-old or something like that, and they can be just as irritating.
So like me.
Oh no. See, I can like disconnect from this stream, and that's fine.
No, I'm talking about the intelligence. I'm talking about the intelligence of a 3 or 5-year-old.
All right, what have I missed? What did we do?
All
we did was drop off.
All we did was buy items one at a time because you know, God forbid we get more than that, right? God forbid this guy said, "Hey, can I just buy 2? Hey, can I buy 2 potions at once?" "Oh no, we don't want you to break the bottle or something." It's dumb.
Did you've picked up the silver sword, right?
The what?
Silver sword?
No, not yet. How can I pick up the sword? I haven't picked up the dragon sword yet.
Oh.
Good thing I'm the one running the game.
Well, yeah, I wasn't here for a whole 30 seconds, and I completely like.
But you should just know that the silver sword is bought right before mummy grind, and not before the potion buy.
I should. How dare I? How dare I?
Looking good for when we race this next year.
Oh man, I can't wait. I need to get back into this game. I'm so terrible. The reason I brought up the silver sword is that actually kind of segues into some other, I wouldn't say bugs, but suspected things that they didn't do right in the game. The silver sword in Elfland is so ridiculously good for this party, or for any party this early in the game.
Yeah, we do have some Schrodinger glitches in this game, where we don't know if they're glitches or intended or...
Exactly. The silver sword is removed in almost all later versions of Final Fantasy I from the Elfland, which makes us really suspect that it wasn't supposed to be there. But it is, and we're going to use it because, man, is it good. The power staff is one that I've always suspected there's a bug with their an error with the power staff. If you ever notice, its value is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am adamant that somebody just didn't know what value it was supposed to have while they were programming, and went, you know what? I'll put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because how could I possibly forget to change that back? The power staff is okay. It's not really great, and there's no reason it should sell for such an obscene amount of money this early in the game.
The Link to the Past runner wants me to pump against all these walls. Wish I could save time doing that.
Right? There's your second piece of iron armor. We don't ever have to buy any because they're just going to give it to us.
Nice. TNT.
And then the TNT, so we can...
Sweet. Now we got basic cable.
We can transport around 400-year-old dynamite. I'm sure there's no problem with that.
Oh, no, I'm sure.
No risk at all.
We're fine. Putting it on an old wooden ship here, who God knows how
Right.
long how well the pirates have maintained this thing.
It probably stinks a lot. I couldn't imagine anything else.
Bicky's icky. Let's see.
Oh, other things that people have been like, maybe that's a bug, but we're not sure. The black belt, when he gets a class change to the master, he actually has lower magic defense when he levels up than if he had just stayed a black belt. So there's a lot of...
I feel like that's just a bug. I'm sure that they didn't mean to do that. I mean, why would they nerf a class change?
Yeah, why would someone get worse when they class change? Because the black belt to the master is functionally identical. There's no equipment change because he doesn't need equipment anymore. His stats don't change except for the loss of his magic resist. So it's really bizarre.
That's what happens when you have one person programming the game.
Yeah.
There we go, Dragon Sword.
Yeah, unlike later Final Fantasy titles, the music doesn't loop. It starts. So anytime the music is interrupted, it starts over.
For a battle or opening a treasure chest, a menu.
Anything at all. Yep. Boy, was it? I can't remember. I think it was Mystic Quest was the first time that you could interrupt the music and it wouldn't just start over.
What game? What did you say? Which one?
Final Fantasy Mystic Quest.
Oh man, I love that game. That game is so underrated and underappreciated. The game is.
It's a really good game.
I mean, yeah, it's easy, but so.
Well, here's the thing. It's easy casually. It's a brutal.
Oh yeah, I mean the RNG is ridiculous. But I mean the music, that Firebird music, chef kiss.
That's another game that's got some great bugs.
Right, so this is after this one is when I have to remember to do that skip.
All right. There is a trend throughout all of the Final Fantasy games, and it is hellacious bugs. I can't think of the various speedruns that I've seen. If it's on the Nintendo or the Super Nintendo, piles and piles of bugs. Now we're just making our way to the next spot that we're going to do some grinding. We did a bunch of fighting on the ogres early, but at this point, they don't give us the same return that we could get from other encounters. Fortunately, there is a group of trap tiles. A trap tile is basically a space that every time you step on it, you get an encounter. And there's going to be a group of mummies on some trap tiles that we're going to use to get a whole pile of experience. It's going to actually push us to level 10? Question mark?
What is?
Kain, help me out.
What?
Mummy trap tiles. What level are we getting to?
8.
8. Am I thinking 10? Oh my
gosh. A little more into 8. Yeah, 10. We don't get 10 until we leave ordeals. Like the zombie dragon fight is when I usually get 10.
Why do you have me commentating? I don't even know that.
I don't even know. Well, I mean, this is why I'm running the game. Because, I mean, but if I was doing all of the commentary, I mean, it would be a far worse disaster.
It would be pretty fun. I'm not going to
lie. And then, so, and then anyone wants to put Kane W. Bush in me or Fricker's chat can see what happens when you leave me behind the mic to explain things.
I particularly enjoyed previous times when we've done this, and you start getting deep into a story, and then you have no idea where you are.
Oh yeah,
it's actually
it's my medicine I take. That's what it is.
There is something to be said for streamers that can speedrun and do all their Odin commentary. It is
Oof.
a skill like no other. And if you ever see anybody doing it, do never doubt the sheer volume of skill that they have.
Oh, absolutely.
So what we've done so far is with all the equipment that we've got, all the stuff that we've just looted randomly, it's actually given us an opportunity to, yeah, we want 3 or more mummies here. 2 is okay, but per encounter, we really want 3 or more.
1, 2 is okay as long as like it doesn't become a trend.
Yeah. The all that armor that we've looted has really set our fighters up to actually be fairly well equipped for quite a while. And we'll get through this. This is fine.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
We're gonna do 2 trips through here, doing 4 encounters each time. Now, getting 2 encounters in a row of only 2 mummies, we're gonna take an extra step through here. We have 4 uses of the Fire 2 spell that we're only going to use 1 per battle, unless the battles are really bad like this one.
Oh my goodness.
2 is our biggest hitter, so seeing him get put to sleep is a big problem. It really slows it down.
And like the mages, like you say, like this, there's no speed stat, but they must have like the best speed stat because they always go first.
There's that silver sword, just doing it.
Oh, that
Just
was
a
so
pile
slow.
of work.
Okay, this is much
There
better.
you go. So to optimize each of
Plus
these fights,
9.
single fire spell is going to kill almost all of them. Just the
oh my
oh,
goodness
no.
gracious. Oh, okay, yeah, that is right. No, it's not right because I forgot to. Well, because I have to hard reset outside. It's not like the biggest deal, but this is like 3 or 4 minutes now. If these guys ever run,
It's fine.
yeah,
We'll be
we're
fine. Little setback. It's not the end of the world. Dying on the mummies is not. That's not common. So of course it's going to happen during.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
But we're fine. We're only 3 minutes behind world record going into that fight, so.
That's fantastic.
Whoops. I'm a dummy. I forgot to equip all this stuff because I forgot that we don't have it. So hopefully I don't get too wrecked here.
Ah, it's all right. That's what you get for.
Yeah, they're just all gonna go first, and they're gonna put my that guy to sleep too. So it's like.
This is fine.
No,
This is fine.
No, this is really not, fine. Can you just go? Like that would just be awesome if you wouldn't mind going. Yeah, thank you. Finally.
Oh, I'm enjoying this more than I should.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I can hear it. I'm having a blast. Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially since I don't have any like. Okay, so.
You'll get there. You got it. Yeah, what we've done, normally we've manipulated all the encounters to this point, so not having anything equipped isn't a big deal, unless you make a mistake. You gotta pick up these chests. You didn't grab them all. Yep, you didn't grab the falchion or the armor here.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, luckily there's no. Okay.
Yeah, so
I was like,
as we meander on these tiles in here, inside this room, inside this castle, we're not advancing step count. It really doesn't hurt us significantly to have to go back and forth like this.
Yeah, I mean, it's only costing us time. It's not costing us step route, which is, more important. Like, I'm just gonna lose like 5-6 minutes here. It's not like the end of the world. We have a fine enough buffer.
Now you'll see we put that silver armor on the mage, and even though silver armor costs way more than the iron armor, it's actually not that much better. It has higher evasion than the iron armor, but the iron armor has better absorption. And as I mentioned earlier, evasion is nice, but it's not always there for you. Just the pure raw damage absorption off the iron armor is unbeatable.
2 5s at least.
So yeah, we want to do between 26 and 28 mummies that we kill. So getting 2 of these at 5 back to back is perfect, because from this point on, if we get a couple of 2s, that's not that bad. When we're getting the encounters of 2 mummies at a time early, it's a huge problem because we don't have any way to know how many total mummies we're going to get. And if we waste all our fire spells on only 2 mummies, that's a big problem. So here, his third one is 5 mummies. He's at 15 now, which is normally your first pass through here. You're only going to get about 14 to 16, and he still has a 4th encounter to do.
Yeah, it'd be nice if I could. I'm gonna skip if once I get to like 26, 27.
Yeah.
Like, I've never had to use heal potions here.
So, of course, in a marathon... Alright, 2 mummies, who cares?
I mean, that's
right?
fine, yeah. I mean, I'd rather do that for the safety anyway. It's not that big of a deal. Right. You won't kill him, okay.
You got it, you're good.
Oh, we're about to use a house, so...
So yeah, houses also are bugged.
No way.
I keep bringing up bugs. So the order that the house executes the things that it does. The house is going to restore health, restore magic, and save the game. And sadly, it does not do them in that order. In fact, it restores health, saves the game, and then restores magic. So if you were as unfortunate as I once was to, say, get to the ice cave, have a single house, use the house before entering the ice cave, and maybe die at the eye, because the eye is brutal in casual play, you would then load the game and see that all your spells are gone because they were not restored prior to the save. It was a bit of a rude awakening when I found that out.
A little bit. So we're at 20.
So what we're going to do then is we're going to always use an additional way to save after any time we use a house. It gives us the opportunity to safely reset and not have to worry about losing spells or anything like that. Is this 24 where you're at then?
Yeah, this is 24 now.
Perfect.
Actually, I'm just gonna fight both of them because I'd rather just have enough experience and then just not have to worry about it in a marathon setting.
Level 8, that's fantastic.
Yeah, because I'm really, it's like it's about 4 minutes. I think I lost. It's not like a big deal.
No, and there's so many other opportunities for time loss. If we lose 3-4 minutes here or there, that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
There are a couple of gatekeepers in this game that can turn from losing 3-4 minutes to losing 10-15 minutes.
Oh yeah, I mean, like if we wipe the Kraken or Tiamat, that's
or Lich. I mean, it's not impossible. I've seen it happen recently, actually.
No, what, to Lich? You can't really die to Lich.
Because
you have 2 red mages, like they just slaughter everything.
Right. We did a couple of practice runs before this event.
Well, let's just say we did not finish all of them. We finished 1. That's all that matters.
We finished most of them.
No, we finished the 3rd.
Oh, was it that bad? Ouch.
Yeah, we did 3. We did 3. 1 died at Lich. 1 died. What was the other one? Where's the other one? Rip.
Chaos, I think.
I don't think so. Oh yeah, because no. Wait, maybe?
I don't remember.
Oh well, doesn't matter.
Our
More
brains
story
don't work
time.
so good.
Yeah. Well, everyone who's watching this probably knows that by now.
We've been traumatized so many times by runs going bad that it's
just all meld
it's all
together.
a blur. It's all Melmond. There's that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Bug or not?
Yeah, I don't think it's a bug as much as it's just a typo. I think somebody meant to remind themselves to come back to it.
This is one of the more nerve-wracking parts of the step route, is not going too far to the right here. I always go like 2 taps to the right. The boat's very hard to maneuver because it's fast, especially when you're going from the dock or off a dock. It's the change in the movement speed can mess you up.
It's very easy to get familiar with the speed that your character goes, and then the handful of times that you're in the boat, it's so much faster. Oh, you missed that town, man. Did you want to go check that out?
No.
No?
We don't speak of that place.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah.
But
Poor Melmond.
Avon has a soft spot in his heart for crappy
I don't
old
know.
Melmond.
I always loved Melmond. It was endearing to me to see these people that have survived such a brutal attack by the vampire. Their land is ravaged, the earth is rot, and they're gonna make it.
The sea is wild.
They're strong, hardy people. They're gonna make it by. They have no item shop. They have no clinic. 2 of the most necessary things for any town to be useful, they don't have. What they do have lots of, though, is steel armor. And oh my...
Can't wait to get that. Can't wait to get that.
Steel armor is so good that it's not, unfortunately. The absorption on it...
At least it's like got a good, cost to it. It's not like it's going to break your bank.
Yeah, the cost on the steel armor is 45,000 gold.
4,500 gold, that's it?
45,000.
4,500. Yeah. I have... How much do I have? I have 15. I could buy a couple of those.
Yeah. At this point in the game, 45,000 is an astronomical amount of money. And the damage prevention that it gives you is only marginally better than the iron armor, and would be replaced by the same armor that we replaced the iron armor with. Even if we had an opportunity to have unlimited money, I don't know that we would buy it.
Oh, I would say unlimited money.
Yeah, but it would literally just take time to get it. Time that you don't want to spend. We're going to fight a couple of these earth elementals. They're pretty good for money and experience. It just kind of slowly increments us to the higher levels that we need later in the game.
Yeah, Jair's talked about how he's tried as much as he possibly can to route this out, because it does cost us a house as well and all the time, but it's just the most efficient way to do it.
They're too good on experience to avoid. Finding an alternative is significantly more cumbersome, unfortunately. And the chest had a good grip of money, so you're already going to get the chest, so why not fight a couple earth elementals?
I mean, it pretty much pays the house pays for itself, basically. Going there.
So from this point, our goal is to kill the vampire. There's an interesting number of things that they did in the game to prevent sequence breaking.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. This game, for a game as buggy as it is, it's rock solid when it comes to sequence breaking. You have to do everything.
There's been a lot of speculation, and not a lot, but some people have speculated that a lot of the sequence breaking was put in place because they weren't really sure on the order that they were going to go through these dungeons. It's suspected that a lot of how this game developed was literally on the fly, just as they were as they were coming up on deadlines, they just started kind of cramming it all together. You notice early in the game, there are a lot of very thoughtful sequences on how you go through an area, leave, go back to that area, leave, go back to the area again. You see that with the fetch quests. You see that here after we kill the vampire, we're going to come back through that area a second time. And part of the things that facilitate, or that the sequence breaking is gated with, would be like the crown. So you need the crown for Astos, but you also need the crown to enter the second floor of ordeals. But why would that ever be an issue? Why would you ever need to lock ordeals with the crown? So maybe there was some thought that you might have had the ability to get to ordeals prior to getting the crown. Or maybe the crown was going to be used somewhere else entirely, and Astos wasn't even a thought yet. We don't know. It was just, it really, if you kind of like deep dive into what were they thinking when they built this game, it leads you to start speculating some of those things, that maybe this isn't as it was originally intended, and that things ended up the way that they did, either to add more time to the game, or that they just needed to finish to get their deadlines.
Well, I'm just curious who put this little door glitch in. But that
door
little
glitch
nugget,
is
like,
beautiful.
There
right
go.
there, boom. Double doors. All it is a graphical glitch. It doesn't do anything. It has no effect. If for some reason that door glitch were to show in front of you, you can walk over it. It doesn't change anything.
Our first poison of the game.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Normally, at this point in the game, you've been poisoned a dozen or more times. So every time that we can avoid going into this menu to rearrange the party...
I'm sure I'm going to end up doing Link to Cure the at some point or something, because
right.
I'm not familiar with the name. And again, you see these bats just get in our way, and I can't move around them. I don't have any steps to spare here. This is very tight.
Yeah.
Like, if I mess up, I can mess up one step in this route before I run into a really nasty encounter before I get outside.
If a bat moves into your way, there is literally nothing you can do about it other than wait for it to move out of your way.
The rare Dan run. Well, cure, however you want to look at it.
There are a number of places throughout this game, and it's on this floor actually, where if two bats get into a hallway together, they can actually cause it so that they're pushed further down the hallway, just the way that they randomly bounce off of each other. And
two Dan runs in a row. Sorry, I'm just shocked.
True, that is pretty unusual.
Anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's fine. So the way that the bats, if they get into a space that's only one tile wide, two bats in there can actually lock each other in place, because it's so statistically unlikely that they ever leave. So for this hallway, for example, if we saw two bats in it, we'd literally just have to reset, because it could be an hour before they'd work their way out. And I'm not even exaggerating on how long it might take them to get out of there.
Yeah, that would be tough for the estimate.
Yeah, and to make it worse, we'd have to start this over. All the items that we've collected so far, all the fights that we've done, we'd have to do it all again.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we are going to do this.
Now, it's not normal that we're going to throw fire spells at these guys. It's just when we get into a situation where they start stun locking the party and our first two party members aren't running away, it is so much safer to use a fire spell. We want to have one or two extra for the exit, but you know, you get 6 images. What are you going to do? It's just, it has to happen. Here is the vampire. We're going to kill the vampire and save Melmont.
Yes.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
I have to
That is
remember
not a lot of damage.
I have to remember not to split. Come on, Link. You got this. There we go. Yeah, so we're like 7 minutes behind my PB, which is a 335, so we're doing fine. And we got level 9 in the vampire fight, so we're doing really well on experience as well.
So here's another one of those strange things that has your progress gated. If you were to glitch...
I did get the ruby, I'm just thinking...
You did. If you were to somehow cheat or glitch or edit the programming to put the ruby into your inventory, having the ruby is not what facilitates talking to... oh my gosh, what is his name? To get the staff.
The Titan. Oh, Sarda?
Sarda, my gosh. Alright. So Sarda's going to give us a cane or a staff that's going to get us to the next... A rod, thank you. That's going to get us past that slab so we can go to the next floor. Now, if we have the ruby so that we can get past the Titan, Sarda still won't give us the cane because we haven't opened that chest. There's a flag somewhere that checks to see if we've looted that chest, and if we haven't, he won't talk to us. It's not something that you could find out without cheating or literally reprogramming the game. How people found it, I have no idea. They might have done a Game Genie code or something like that, but it's not normally possible.
A little more free-ish XP, why not? Since I have that fire spell to burn anyway. Not to burn, but... I'd rather just make sure I have my... Because really the last level you need to have, like, on the fly is 10. Because, you know, otherwise you can just, you know, it just adds time to Agama grind. Hope you guys like Agama, too.
Agama? I've heard of Agama. So here we're going to be on our way to Sarda to pick up that rod. You know, it's I'll bring up why we're doing this. So this is a charity event for NAMI. NAMI is it stands for National Alliance on Mental Illness. NAMI envisions a world where all people affected by mental illness live healthy, fulfilling lives, supported by a community that cares. And we're going to do this to make sure that we can help fulfill that goal.
Absolutely. That's a really good cause. We've always had really good causes here, and I'm definitely always glad to be a part of it. Yeah, like one of our guys dying right now is just catastrophic because we have absolutely no way to revive them. The nearest town doesn't even have a clinic because it's a piece of crap, no matter what Avon's propaganda wants to lead you to believe. And so we want to stay alive.
Yeah, it's brutal. If we were to die right now, our choices are to either reset and redo this entire section that we've just done since we saved outside, or we would have to sail to a different town. And if we went off to a different town, it would completely uproot all that we've done for the step count so far. We are actually going to start setting up our pass through Earth Cave here sets up our encounters in ordeals. So it's very important that from the point that we reset just outside until we get to ordeals, we're not going to power cycle again. It's like 17 or 20. I had the number. There's a high number of encounters that we're going to do consecutively that we need to do in the correct places. Some of the encounters need to be in the water. Some of them need to be in dungeons. And that's because those zones have different encounter rates. And if we were to change, even if we were to get the same number of encounters, if we did them in different places, it would vastly change how things are going to progress. Ordeals is very dangerous. There is a very small window of 4 consecutive encounters that won't be guaranteed to kill us, that we need to get. And we also need to get them in a way that the spacing between those encounters is such that we can get through 2 floors of very treacherous combat.
It's really interesting how dangerous Ordeals is off route and how safe it is on route. Like it's trivial if your steps are fine, but if you're off, you're dead. You're off by a little bit, you're dead. It's crazy.
And this is, if somebody was ever interested in seeing just how that's done, we've got a great community for the Final Fantasy speedrun group. It's one thing that's always impressed me with speedrunning, something that I never really thought would be the case. In other competitive sports or events, I've seen a lot of people kind of keep to themselves their personal secret that helps them do it better than everyone else. But when you get into speedrunning, you'll find that the communities are very open. Everybody wants everyone in that community to do their best, and they're all going to work together to make that happen.
I think everyone realizes this because pretty much, unless you're Matt Turk or somebody, like everyone has like depended on strats and everything made up by somebody else. And it also fascinates just how many people spend time finding glitches or making ROM hacks, or and they don't get any money out of it or anything, but just kind of contributing something to the community. And yeah, that's definitely been a huge reason why I love speedrunning, beyond the actual fun. But if there was no streaming, no community of it, I probably wouldn't speedrun.
Yeah, when I came into this, I totally expected that I was going to have to be on my own to figure this out. And I was giving just the greatest pile of information dump by anyone I asked. They were so willing to help at every step. It was completely amazing.
Like, I remember when I was first started with Link to the Past, and I remember just in my stream practicing, and then this guy Fricker22 came in, and he's like, "Oh, hey, do this, da 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 da," and he's helping me out, and then he's like, "Hey, do you want me to do a PB analysis for you?" Like, I was like, "Oh yeah, great." And then I do it thinking, no, he's just gonna talk over my hour and 40-minute run. Or he spent like 3.5 hours just breaking down every stream, not for anything, not any benefit for himself, but just to help out. And I've just noticed that that's just really common, and you try to pay it forward yourself.
I had something very similar happen when I started learning Mega Man 1 on the Nintendo. Tons of people helped me out, but one person in particular, I think it's Nisei or Nis3, depending on how you want to say it, would literally sit with me through my entire run and stop me anytime I'm making a mistake or anytime I can optimize. And he's making tutorial videos for me on the fly when I am trashing everything. It's unbelievable. It's something I will never forget.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and speaking of, it's funny actually. Speaking of Link to the Past and Fricker in this game, we actually made a deal where, he made me deal where if I did 50 no resets in a row of the NMG run in Link to the Past, he would learn Final Fantasy 1. And I don't know, anybody who runs the game knows how much of a just brutal challenge that is. But I powered through, and once his NES is. But luckily that wasn't like a mistake I made or anything like that. Oh,
hey, we're back! Yay!
All right. Okay, that bat is in the danger zone.
There was a moment of manipulation that everybody missed, and I apologize. after we clear the slab, we change floors a bunch. It's actually kind of odd if you ever get to see it. And the reason we do that is if we were to encounter cockatrices at this point in the run,
and I just noticed
would
Cure has
probably
150.
be over.
I just noticed Cure has 159 hit points.
Uh-oh. So Lich has a chance to hit us with Ice 2. And if he does max damage on Cure, Cure will not survive.
Nice. Nice fire too, though. Another nice one.
2 nice ones.
Don't die, Cure, please. Ooh. He's still not safe.
He's much safer than he could be.
Ah, yeah.
You got some big fire spells early, which is fantastic. So even if they're not great now, it doesn't matter. He's got about 100 hit points left.
Okay, he's dead now.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
There he goes. Oh, another
much better than our last run.
Yeah, our last run when one of your characters died before Lich.
I think that was the first time I've ever died in this game, not to chaos. Like completely wiped. Well, no, I might have wiped. Yeah, no, I might have wiped in like a first time I've ever wiped to a boss that wasn't chaos.
I have died so many places in this game. So now here, that's the last time we're going to power cycle until we finish ordeals.
Well, until we get to Ice Cave, even.
Oh, right, yeah.
There's still more manipulations after that. Yeah, that's a very long, tight stretch. Don't say anything.
What makes it extremely difficult is we're going to have a series of movement in the ocean where we don't really see land. So if you're not familiar with where things are and how to get to where we need to go, this would be extremely difficult to do on step count. Fortunately, Kain's just done it enough. There's enough visual cues that we're going to look at that it's going to help us get to where we need to go.
And this is when I really start enjoying the run a lot because we finally kind of have momentum, start getting, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of there are a lot of places through the game, through the early portion of the game, which are extremely risky, even more so than we would care to see. The ogre grind, you have a potential to die there almost at every encounter. Lich, as we found out last night, can be incredibly lethal. Even something as simple as the mummy grind that we saw when a character died out of nowhere. We're at the point now where we are not likely to get into a situation that will have the potential to realistically kill us until the second to last boss fight in the final dungeon. So it really facilitates you to just kind of relax for a bit. There's been a lot of clenching that's gone on, and now we're going to take about an hour and a half to just completely chill out as we blow away everything, because we've mapped out where everything is, and we know that nothing's going to hurt us.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I mean, not that you still have to pay attention to your step count. There's definitely things that can happen in Ice Cave or anywhere else, but yeah, it's just definitely a little more relaxing than the beginning, which is a little stressful, to be honest, especially in a marathon where you just don't want to mess up, where you can just reset in a PB attempt, but
I think
die to Lich, it's like, oh well, my night's over.
I think the next dangerous encounter, and I'm going to put air quotes around it, the next dangerous encounter is there's a trap tile in the ice cave that has a bunch of undead in it.
No,
and that's even being dangerous, it's usually not, because again, it's random what we're going to fight within the actual encounter. We know what monsters could be there.
I can't wait to wipe the carry now.
No, don't do that. I have never seen anyone wipe to carry. I don't want to see that today.
Let's make history, Avon.
No, let's not.
So now we're just going to get a canoe because we've defeated Lich. This is another one of the kind of the gatekeepers. It doesn't let us unlock further aspects of the game until we defeat Lich and can go on rivers.
Yeah, even though you can get here before killing Lich, they will not give you the canoe until Lich is dead. Those greedy jerks.
You know, I actually played a ROM hack of this game where if you come here before you beat Lich, you can't even come into the town and get the items.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, playing casually, coming to Crescent Lake is fantastic. The armor and weapons are great. The iron armor has more absorption, but the silver shield gauntlets, helmets, they're much better than anything else that we can get at this point in the game. So once you've got the canoe, you actually don't have to kill the fiends in order. There is nothing that would prevent you from going to kill Tiamat next if you were to get all the things that got you to Tiamat. It would be difficult, but
It'd
it's
be
doable.
inefficient, you know, getting the slab then. But yeah, you could. That'd be an interesting category. Maybe like reverse fiend order on the last three. I don't know. It's not very catchy.
I would like it. You know, it's a bummer that you can't get the canoe prior to killing Lich. I would love to see a reverse boss order category.
Okay, this is actually the most stressful part of the step route for me. So...
Don't miss. Don't miss.
Thanks, Avon.
And again,
adding just that little bit of extra emotional pressure. Appreciate it.
It can be really easy to mismaneuver on that path with the ship just because its speed is so much different than how you move on the land. But we're fine. Our steps are extremely tight through here. I think it is, depending on how you go through ordeals, at most I think you can free up, I want to say 3 or 4 steps. Kain's going to do it in a way that as soon as he leaves ordeals, he is instantly going to get an encounter. So no mistakes. Do it perfect.
Okay. Okay. Well.
No mistakes. Casually playing this game, if you don't have a strategy guide or anything, this is supposed to be a bit of a puzzle. How you would know that you can walk into pillars and be teleported, I have no idea. I can only imagine that they just didn't have enough space on the cart to put in other graphics for like teleporters or whatever they're using, whatever they're supposed to represent. But
trash cans, I believe.
Trash cans, yeah. Or it's like Oscar.
They're probably supposed to be like magical columns. Maybe you just walk into and they transport you. That's what I think.
I actually suspect they were like, you know what? We don't have any graphics. We don't have any room for graphics. Screw it. Just use it. Just do it. It's interesting. The solution to this puzzle is actually just the bottommost pillar in every room where it's applicable. This is the only room where it's not, because there is a 4th pillar in the far southwest. But we're going to go in the southmost pillar that we can see, and it's the right one. Anyone playing casually may notice that there's a room that we just missed. Oh my gosh, you missed that room. There's a great weapon in there. Yeah, it's a Thor hammer. It's super good.
No, it's not.
It's not Thor hammer. It's gauntlets. Zeus gauntlets. They're the same, all right? They're functionally identical.
They are functionally identical.
So, the Zeus gauntlet is important because it's the first item that we're going to get that gives us the ability to use items as spells in combat. The Zeus gauntlet's going to cast Lit 2 whenever you have a party member use it, and it's going to really take a lot of the weight off of our spell count through the rest of the game.
And it's
anytime that we... Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, it's really excellent when you don't throw it away.
Yeah, don't throw it away. I've seen that happen. Now, one thing of note, when Kain left that nightmare encounter, he went right for 2 steps and then to the chest. Those 2 steps are safe squares because they're on the bottom, they're on the south edge of a room. If he didn't do that, he would not be able to make it through this dungeon without getting an encounter that would kill him. So if you are ever playing this and you just go up to that chest, not thinking about it, right? That is the difference between succeeding or dying in this dungeon.
Well, I think if you did do that, you could probably just go down if you were early enough and fight the nightmares again.
Right.
Depending. But
and it's funny, the little niche that Kain stepped in that got him over the top of the nightmare encounter is removed in later portions of the game. If you want to get the later versions of the game, I'm sorry. If you want to get that heal staff, you actually have to fight the nightmare encounter twice.
All right, good. Level 10, perfect.
So here's where we see how we're going to get that Zeus Gauntlet. What has happened is that a number of chests throughout the game, they had too many chests for how big the loot tables are in the dungeons. So there's only so much they can put on these carts. They're really limited on the amount of space they have available for game code. And in this situation here, they have more chests in the dungeon than there are treasure to assign. I can only assume that they just randomly assigned the chest loot value to somewhere else in the loot table and maybe didn't realize that they were giving away the Zeus Gauntlet here. If you were to have already picked up the Zeus Gauntlet and then open that chest, it will actually just say it's empty because it's referencing something that you've already got. Here is your quote-unquote boss for this dungeon. He's not too particularly difficult. You could get 2 of them. This is actually a good fight casually to grind on if you've got sufficient amount of fire spells or harm spells, because they're pretty easy to kill.
Those are pretty good ordeals.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
The tail being the whole reason we came here. We can get class change when we're ready, but we need that airship first. Now, if you were to talk to that guy, he would tell you about how you need the crown to enter the throne, and
like watch how fast we get into an encounter here. That's how much leeway we have, which is none. Which is basically you can mess up once, you can go.
But the problem is, if you mess up once, that's actually 2 steps. So.
But that's what I'm saying. You'd be fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you take 1, 2. Wait, is it 1, 2 steps? Yeah, because you just as long as you didn't move, leaving ordeals, you'd be okay. But yeah, it's ridiculously tiny, and we're still under that. We're still technically under a 1-step kind of.
I had an issue with my old controller. It would like to give me up inputs for no reason all of a sudden.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was not great. It caused me to get Argoyles. Argoyles or Red Gargoyles or maybe Robert Gargoyles. Who knows, right? Whatever they want.
Richard Gargoyle, let's be honest.
Is it Richard? Ooh.
It's gotta be. Dick Goyles.
So, the Richard Gargoyles cast fire too, and they will annihilate your party.
This is what Aiden was talking about before, why we bought those heal potions and everything at Provoca, because we don't have to wait for the entire list to populate before we...
And that is a couple of soft potions that we're going to get. There are a few spots that we could potentially get turned to stone. And then it'll be a surprise for you, because there's a couple of spots where we're potentially going to get turned to stone.
Alright, I'm also gonna... Just gotta stay on brand, you know?
Alright, so what's the plan? Where are we going next?
We
Ice
are
Cave?
going to... Sea Shrine.
Sea Shrine.
Yes.
Well, I should look at the Nintendo Power. Where's the Nintendo Power tell us to go?
Ah, yes. That's a good one. We just got the tail. So what does it say to go?
Well, first, no, we just killed Lich, right? So, having killed Lich, we're now going to go to... I'm scrolling. We're going to go to the volcano.
Ah.
Did you go to the volcano yet?
I'm on my way.
Good.
I am on my way there-ish.
Because you absolutely should not go to the ice cave.
Okay.
Yeah, the ice cave is terrifying.
Okay. I won't go there.
Alright, don't do that.
Heading right to the volcano. You definitely don't want to fight the mummy and cockatrice fight in Ice Cave.
Yeah, kind of funny about that. The first 3 encounters in the ice cave after you power cycle are the same. It is a pile of mummies and a bunch of cockatrices. So, it's really dangerous because you could easily have the whole party turned to stone. So we're going to try to skip them. Except we're not going to skip all of them. And the reason we're not going to skip all of them is that if we fight one of them and we die, we have so recently saved that we can just start over. And it helps us put all of the encounters through the entire dungeon in the order that we want. So we're going to skip 2, and then we're going to cross our fingers and fight 1. And if we die, no big deal. We'll just start over. We'll skip 2 encounters and go through it again.
And Ice Cave, right here in the entrance of Ice Cave, is a point in the tutorial where Avon comes in and says, "Hey, is this tutorial making anybody want to speedrun this game?"
Yeah, Gyre went through and did an amazing tutorial.
Oh, this is like the tutorial is like a godsend. It is just so informational and tells you exactly where all these skips are. This is... I hope no one thinks that this is any kind of creativity or skill on my part. I'm just a robot punching in the skips where they need to be.
I am robot.
I am.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting the vast difference between speedrunning an RPG and... You're just going to show off that chain armor?
Yeah, exactly. Intimidate them.
Turn to stone. It's fine, we got a soft potion, it doesn't...
Glad I rearranged that order when I did.
Right?
Where is it? Oh, I did have... Did I?
Yeah,
oh, because... that's why. See, that's what happens when you rearrange your party like that. See, that's why you keep it... I mean, just as a joke, though, it's like, it might seem stupid to change, you know, the party order, but when you're just so used to it, and then you make a mistake like that, you know, I just cost myself more time by... Again, I do it! Because I never traded the...
So what you'll get, if you ever really start getting into the weeds for these speedruns, specifically with an RPG, so much of the menuing is always the same that you want to make sure you're always doing it the same. You want all the items to be in the same places. You want all the options to always be the same. So you will very easily get into a combat and just, because your brain is telling you, push up, left, B, right, A, B, start, right, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You're not even going to look at the screen. You're just going to do that command over and over and show off your shiny iron armor.
Exactly.
Because you didn't put the Zeus gauntlet where it belongs.
Oh!
That's kind of terrifying. I always do enjoy a nice Kain scream as he's ready to be just terrified.
Well, it wouldn't have been like the end of the world because we could have just power cycled, but it's just another 3-4 minute time loss I don't want to put on here.
Yeah, it'd be kind of hard pressed to lose a mage at this point. If we lose a mage to the eye, it's not that big of a deal. But before we get to the eye, that's not great.
And this is why I do it, you know, instead of just hoping for the rare chance he runs, you know, look at, like, so now instead of having another round with 9 monsters, I only have 3. So it's well worth the price for me.
Yeah, for the tiny a bit of time loss that it takes for that spell to execute, it is so much safer to do it.
Especially since like you just know for a fact, you know, Cure/Dan isn't gonna run, you know.
10% chance, it's not worth it. Just make it safer. So here the Frost Giant, Frost Wolf fight. We'd like to run from this, but it's flagged as an unrunnable encounter for some reason. It kind of shows off that it's not the monsters themselves that make it unrunnable, it's the actual encounter that's unrunnable. So there's going to be other places that you see Frost Wolves and you'll be able to run from them. It's just that when they come in that formation specifically, that it's a problem. The first strikes here are kind of a problem. Wraiths and images have a high % chance to first strike. Unfortunately, there's nothing you can really do about it. They don't hit super hard outside of critical hits, but it's still nice to just take them down if you can. And that was probably the most dangerous tile for us in the ice cave.
Yeah, no, I forgot to say, we don't have to, but that's actually kind of a stressful part of the run too, is both of those tiles. Those can definitely wreck you.
What's interesting about it is all the different attacks that do status effects have some type of element tied to them. The attacks that stun your party have the fire element attack associated with them. We're going to pick up the ice shield so that the second time we go through that tile, it's not that big a deal. It actually works out pretty well for us because we're all.
Oh no, I'm messing up my step, bro.
And there is the infamous at the bottom of the room. Doesn't bother you at all.
Oh, thank you so much for the donation.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. There's a chest in that room that we're not going to get. It's a trap. It's a trap for two reasons. The trap tile in front of that chest is a big pile of frost wolves that would probably kill the party. Well, that's not good, man. Don't do this. All right, we really need some help. I think that's a good call.
See, a good thing. I guess I thought I didn't get a Zeus gauntlet off.
Oh man.
Okay.
Oh man.
Great.
There you go. That's fine.
We're fine. We're fine. There's no other dangerous parts of this run. We're good to go. We're all set. And we're just gonna relax for another hour and a half.
All right. Well, normally you just relax. This is.
But again, it's really not that big of a deal because, to be perfectly honest, like fighters, and it wasn't the one who died to Astos either.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, the big risk is not so much that that we're down a party member and it's going to make it really hard to do fights. There is a slim chance that the eye could kill two party members, and that's where it really gets difficult because then you've just got one person that you're trying to get out of here with. It means that if you have only one person left, you're going to be on the edge the whole time until we get back to safety.
With a 9-monster undead fight right after the eye.
Right? Our bones, we've seen them before. Not normally a big threat. There's a lot of them though, so it's irritating.
And they hit a little harder than you would think sometimes.
Fortunately, they're hitting the guys that have the most armor. They're only getting one hit, but if they get multiple hits, they can be a problem.
Alright, so... a little bit of healing
the... Oh, or don't.
Equip what?
Your ice shield.
Oh, I mean, I guess, but it's not really that big a deal.
Goodbye. That's fine, he got his spell off. We don't care.
Yeah, I know, well, but that's experience.
Everything's fine.
So it looks like we will be killing the this time instead of cure.
Get your floater.
Yep, oh, yep, I know, but I gotta get it and then heal.
Yeah, there you go. You were just paused for a moment. I'm like, oh god.
Oh no, I wasn't gonna. I was definitely thinking of it. I just wanted to. All right, so.
This ice shield is what's going to make the next trap tile trivial.
Okay.
I mean, trivial in that it's unlikely that Link will get stunned, but I guess they're going to strike first, and there's going to be 9 of them. I feel like anytime that I say that everything's going to be fine, I'm proven wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
It looks that way, doesn't it, Avon?
And it's typical marathon fashion. Like, what are the odds that it's going to be a problem? Almost none, right? So it's safe to say everything's fine. And then a character dies.
Yep.
Hey, just strike first. See? It's turning around already.
Oh,
wait.
Okay. One more fight.
One more. We've avoided the most terrifying of fights. Sorcerers are in this dungeon, and they
Just not even taking any chances.
Just do it. Just light them up.
Alright, let's get the hell out of here. I can't forget to... Don't let me forget to revive these guys.
Yeah, don't forget to revive them.
Oh, thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, I'll be right there for you.
Is it a hard reset right here, or is it just no? It's just. I think it's just a twofer.
You're killing me. I don't even have my notes up. I did, and then you were doing so well. I didn't even look.
No, I'm pretty sure it's just I think we'll find out soon enough. Oh no, we're fine.
Yeah, you're not going to power cycle again until you get to
Conaria.
After your class change, yeah. Canaria,
whatever. Conaria, yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, whatevs. Name's not important anyways.
Exactly.
Being on step count through here is really nice. The fights on the ocean aren't particularly dangerous, but they're really irritating. Loads of monsters. They're going to do a bunch of damage, so you're going to have to constantly heal. Being able to skip them just makes it a lot easier. Fights on the ocean are basically trivial at this point. Most of the time, they're not even going to hit us. If they do hit us, they're not going to do any damage.
Bye, ship.
Yep, goodbye, ship. We've loved you.
We have?
Well, I mean, it was nice for a while, right?
It was alright.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Now with the airship, you start getting into kind of a sci-fi element of the game. As much as we've been fantasy this whole time, one of the things that I particularly enjoy about the Final Fantasy titles that are fantasy is the ancient tech that kind of gets rolled into it. When you've got a Final Fantasy game that's basically a sci-fi game with swords, it doesn't do it for me. But you give me an ancient flying castle that's 4,000 years old or 2,000 years old.
So
sweet, I love it.
where do you stand on Final Fantasy X in that regard?
Yeah, not so much.
That's not like I didn't know if that
No.
like if Machina counted as like ancient tech. type
No.
thing.
No, because you're in a world that is it's basically sci-fi. Like take like 8 for example, right?
Mhm.
7 and 8 even. 7 was a good game, which really helped me. But you're running around, you're fighting guys who've got guns, and you've got a sword, and I was like, come on.
You got a guy who's got a gun and a sword.
Yeah.
A sword
We're
that
just-
is a gun, like
Right. Because we're confused. We're confused about what's fantasy at this point.
but it does have Adia in it, so
Oh, all right, fine.
Adia.
It's spaceships. Yeah, any Final Fantasy that you go to space in a spaceship, I'm not that keen on. If you go to space through a magical teleporter to a fancy sci-fi castle, that's cool.
Yeah, we did kind of go to outer space there, didn't we?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, well, I can still buy this stuff. I just need to.
Yeah. So fortunately, our party has the capacity to learn spells while dead. We're gonna buy some ruse spells to prep for 2 encounters at the end of the game. Res our party members here, so they're not dead anymore. That'd be nice.
Good morning, Aindar.
We're gonna spend a little bit of time going to pick up cure spells now that we've got more money, and now that our fighters have the capacity to learn white magic.
But I have to remember that I'm killing the.
Yes. So what's going to happen here in the volcano is we're going to try to take a moment to power level most of our party. The power level between the fighters and the mages is really starting to switch. The fighters are really coming into their own as they get better weapons and armor. And the spells that the mages have just don't keep up at this point. So with that being the case, we're just going to let one of the mages die as we power level the rest of the party up to get our fighters into prime killing position.
I mean, normally we kill the one in the bottom who would be Cure, but since he died during the ice cave, and he didn't get 1,000. He didn't get 1,000 things, so he's gonna be the one to die now again, so that we keep the XP even or better.
Optimized.
Yeah, optimized. Yeah, there we go. Words, tough speak.
Words are hard.
Why use more words when? What's the? I wish I should memorize that Kevin quote, but I love it from The Office. He's like, why use? Someone in chat probably knows it. Why use big word when less words say same or something? And it's one of those things that's so dumb it's brilliant. Why use many words when few do trick? Nice. See? I knew some MVP like Shady Force games would come through.
Thanks, man. We appreciate it.
So yeah, we're just buying items one at a time here. Oh,
So
and by the way, I hope. Did anybody miss experience grinding on the same monster over and over and over again? Because we're gonna do that again. 69,000 gold.
It's one of the things that you'll see throughout a lot of older RPGs. The need to get levels is very important. You could try to carry on through the game, but we're skipping so many encounters that it's really impacting our levels negatively. If you were to play casually and fight absolutely everything, and I mean everything that you encounter, you'd be fine. But even casually, you kind of want to grind for a bit, especially early on, to get your spells and your silver sword and all that kind of stuff.
Oh wait. Oh, we actually have a cabin this time.
Good job. I don't know. Did you ever figure out why you were missing that cabin? Was it a miscount, or did you just use an extra one where you weren't supposed to?
I have no idea. Maybe I just end up buying 11 both times, and then I just got the bad luck of miscounting buying 11 cabins at
Right.
Or something, I don't know. And believe it or not, that's actually the most efficient place to get cure too.
That's the only place to get cure too.
No, I mean like in the run. I meant place in the run.
Oh,
to
right.
get it.
Yeah, we don't. We didn't have the money for cure 2 at any point until now. We've been really tight on our funds. The fact that we've got extra money now, the fact that the fighters are now able to learn cure 2. So yeah, we're going to take that opportunity to just buy it for everybody.
Was somebody able to give? Give them the. Give Danny maybe the donation link. I think maybe that's what they mean.
Yeah, let's do this. I think it's just the NAMI site they're looking for, isn't it?
I think it's just hashtag something not hashtag but exclamation point donate maybe.
That's the schedule. Here's the donations right here. Boom.
Oh, we forgot to give our warning. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, if you're using some high quality here, as we walk on this lava and just torch our party, it's gonna make the screen flicker a whole lot. I
Apologize for not mentioning that before.
Photosensitive is not. Just turn down your rate, your quality, and it'll fix that for you.
If you see, we're intentionally walking on the lava.
Yeah, there's no encounters on the lava. So even though we're taking a whole grip of damage, we're actually making it so that through this entire dungeon, we're going to get, what is it, 3 or 4 encounters?
So we are killing the...
Correct.
Okay,
so Kier can have that. Yeah, he's fine. He's
so I'm just trying to figure out whose stuff I can blitz through right now.
Yeah, given that he's not going to be alive, we're not too worried about.
Oh, wait a second. I think I just cured though.
All right. Well, now you're killing Cure. Don't heal him.
No, because I'd rather not have to fight 2 extra Agam battles.
All right.
So it's fine. It'll just take longer to kill the. That's fine. And now we're good.
One of our few encounters in this dungeon. Going to take a moment to get some more equipment. It works out that this is only a few steps because of all the lava, so it's not that big a deal at all. If we had to worry about encounters coming here, I think that may change how this would be routed, but it's given us an extra ice sword, which is, at this point in the game, fantastic. We haven't had much option other than the silver armor to replace our iron. We won't see any changes like that until we get... when's the first time we replace the iron armor? Is it Sea Shrine?
Yes, oval armor.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna take a couple extra steps here so that I can kill what's his name off a little bit easier. Okay, so I'm keeping the correct. No, I'm killing.
Link to cure.
Link to cure.
Killing the.
Okay, so Pure is who gets the flame shield then. Cure. Okay.
Flame sword, perhaps.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Isn't there something else? What am I missing?
Looks great.
Nope.
The gold. You swap the gold and the silver.
I know there was one more thing to do, and now we just heal.
Heal everybody except for the.
Okay. Heal everybody except for the. The what?
Link to cure the.
Link to cure the. And it's not the worst thing if he gets a little bit of extra experience since he's a little low himself. Alright, so strap yourself in for about 20 minutes of this.
Yeah, Agamas.
Do you know, though, an interesting thing about agamas is that they're deathly allergic to eggs, but only the yolks. So they're actually quite fond of various meringues.
That works out well for them, I guess.
It does.
It's been my experience also that agamas are probably the best carpenters. Like, they're natural carpenters. They have a problem, though. Their body temperature starts all the wood on fire, so they really can't do anything.
Oh.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It is quite unfortunate. Most agamas are accountants. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with the fact that they can't be carpenters like they want.
And since, especially with the digital age, they don't have to worry about burning papers so much. And of course,
it's a little tough. Keyboards are a little tough, but you know. When walking long distances, the agama does not use its rear left foot. Did you know that? It's purely cosmetic.
Does it have a rear left foot? I can't verify that it actually has.
It kind of looks like it's there, maybe.
Hmm.
Oh no, the died. How did that happen?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Runs over. Link to cure the. That's how it's gonna stay because I am not.
We're just
keeping that straight. Yeah, well, just because I'm just not keeping that straight with my less. Even though the last two take the same amount, it's gonna be easier for me to keep it straight if the weakest one's on the bottom. Jeez, I already need to heal. Close to it anyway.
Do you know when you look at that sprite for the agama, it's actually his sunglasses that you see over his eyes. Did you know that?
Sunglasses.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
He wears his sunglasses.
The agama
is
very sensitive to bright lights, so they all wear sunglasses.
Looks like sunglasses. Purple sunglasses.
Oh yeah, super stylish. Like, why wouldn't you wear purple sunglasses?
And, our basic point here, though, just so everyone kind of can have a feel for when the end will be, is we want to get our party to level 16. I'm probably just going to worry about Cure getting to level 16 if there's a disparity. I'm not going to really stretch about it. No, we're just going to keep him dead for the rest of this grind. We will heal him when we leave here. We go to a town and heal him right away. It's just, we just don't want him alive for the... for this experience grind.
At this point, the only thing that we need the dead mage for is fast spells on the bosses, and then some warp spells. Maybe. And then, and the off chance that our primary mage dies, we need to make sure he's got a life spell.
No.
Oh, excuse me.
So ultimately, we want him to be level 15 by the end of the run, optimally. So I don't know how it's gonna work since he lost all that eye experience. He's losing all this experience.
Well, was he level 10 right now?
11, I believe.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, if your red mage is 11 at this point, he's not gonna have any trouble. He might actually get to 16.
Oh, okay.
So. Yeah, the fourth party member at this point in the marathon is 100% there as a safety net. The contribution that he's got to offer is not much, unfortunately. He's in the last slot. He doesn't run well. He's a mage, so he's not going to do a ton of physical damage. Spells aren't great anymore. It's as sad as it is, we're not going to see any critical damage with your AoE spells on anything that's not particularly weak to that spell type.
Yeah, I mean, they're a little nice to have in Sea Shrine as a second lightning.
Just a
His Zeus gauntlet helps. But it's nothing. Yeah, nothing really critical.
they're a pain sponge. They're gonna take some damage that doesn't go to the rest of the party, so that's nice.
Hope y'all are having fun out there, though. I'm having a good time. Run's going okay. Nothing too drastic.
Couple of close calls, but we're doing all right.
We're on, so far. Obviously, knock on wood, we're on pace for estimate for sure. I figure if we finish early, we'll show off the Invisible Lady in Canaria.
Oh yeah, another bug, by the way.
Link's Erdrick's Grave, and so on and so forth. Got a couple of things we can show off the 15 puzzle game.
Oh yeah, the 15 puzzle game in this version of the game is cute. You get a couple of... How much money do you get when you do it?
Not much.
Like 50? It's bad, isn't it? Or is it 200?
Yeah, it's like it is like a couple of hundred, but it's nothing.
Okay, so I think it's 200 that they give you for completing it. It's not worth it. It would just take too long to get anywhere with it. The 15 puzzle in later versions of the game, as long as you're beating the time that you beat it with previously, so you're going to intentionally go slow for the first couple of playthroughs, you're going to get some pretty powerful items that are going to be critical to finishing the game.
Oh wow, really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting how that, because like you'll get like elixirs and other items that are not in the original version of Final Fantasy that got carried over from future games. So like you get ethers and elixirs. What else? Good stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Jin.
Yeah, I want to see your whole party get trashed on Jin. That'd be great.
Yeah, right. Well, then just play Mystic Quest.
Ah. You got any other Agama facts? What else do we know about the Agama?
I don't know. I was supposed to write some down, but I never did because I'm lazy and bad. But Agama is the plural of Agama. It's like moose.
I mean, except that's not, but that's fine.
What? Just because there's real life Agamas, and we're supposed to just assume that it's the same etymology?
Okay, so maybe all right. So they're not the same as an Agama that you or I may know on the regular Earth.
Yeah, they're a Final Fantasy Agama.
Right. With a body temperature of 578 degrees. Did you know that?
Oh, really? That's enough to burn books?
It starts paper on fire, yeah. It definitely does. Did you know that the Agama is nocturnal?
Ooh.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So it only wears its sunglasses at night.
Maybe.
See that?
I don't know what you're talking about. You're ruining my jokes, man.
See, in the biz, we call that a callback. In old biz. I want Bubble Bobble. I'm trying to see, what about, I thought there was another story that I was gonna tell about during this, but...
I'm gonna show something off.
Oh, no.
Give a little video for everybody to look at.
Oh, my step saver?
Yeah, the step saver. So Kain had accidentally taken a couple of steps he didn't mean to take. So we got to the final floor, and I was telling him that he could save on a few steps if he would just go into the lava.
This was actually a practice run of before our first Link to the Cure.
That was like 3 years ago now? Holy cow.
Yeah, no, this is our third year, I believe. Right? Yeah.
That's crazy. Crazy talk.
Yeah, shout outs to Tristal and Deadlink and all the staff who...
Yeah, everybody makes this possible every year. That's fantastic. If anybody missed it, if you don't see it blatantly on the stream here, we're doing this charity for NAMI. NAMI is a National Alliance on Mental Illness. They want to make sure that everybody with mental illness has the ability to live healthy, fulfilling lives, supported by their community that cares. And that's what we're here for. We're here to care about that.
Absolutely.
Did you know there's only 3 ribbons in the game? I don't know if people knew that.
Only 3 ribbons.
Yeah, so ribbon's a really nice item. It's it has resistance to almost everything. I don't think it's everything. I think it's almost everything. But there's only 3 of them, so you can't equip a full party with it. Which leads me to believe that maybe when they were making this game, they knew that the best strategy was to go through the game with a party of 3. See? Right?
Maybe, or they just forgot to put one in and they put in, you know, another Vorpal or something.
Yeah. That actually wouldn't surprise me if they forgot to put in a 4th ribbon. The fact that there's 3 of them, like, if there was 1 ribbon or even 2, I'd be like, oh, that was intentional. But there's 3, so I don't really know. Like, is that what you guys were trying to do?
We could also give them the benefit of the doubt that for a game balance perspective, they were trying to, you know, just make sure you're not completely overpowered, so you only get 3, not 4, so you can't equip everybody, so you have to use some strategy to decide who's going to get the ribbons and who's going to have to be unprotected. How about that from Nasir?
Could be.
Or Nasser, I forget which one it is. I don't know if it's a really bad way of saying like NASA, the space agency, or if it's more like the rapper Nas, like Nasir Jones.
There's also a bunch of other armors that give you various protections throughout the game, and I don't know that that was clearly documented anywhere. Like, I don't even know that the strategy guide tells you. Like, the Aegis shield protects against stuff. Can't find it, oh my gosh.
Maybe they were just like hoping that the Nintendo Power would help you with the...
Yeah, right?
With the strategy guide, you know?
Oh my gosh, why do you have me here? I don't even have my notes ready.
That's alright.
Where is it? I'm trying to find the Aegis shield now in the strategy guide.
Alright, so we're at level 15, so we're in the home stretch, folks.
Getting there, very slowly.
And this will be the last time we have to do a serious XP grind. There's still one more kind of mini grind we have to do.
Here it is. So, in the strategy guide, they say that the Aegis shield protects you against glare and some other spells. They never say exactly what. Because spells have some type of elemental mechanic, it actually protects you from everything of that element. So they were... I don't know if when they wrote the strategy guide, maybe they didn't know. Maybe they didn't have that information, but...
So the dragon armor is really good then.
Yeah, dragon armor is protects you against the... particularly effective against dragon attacks. No, that's not it.
Yeah, I know it is nice that at least like the armor elemental works.
Yeah,
that's nice.
For the purposes of defenses, that's really good. Because if the ribbon didn't do anything, it would make this game so much harder.
Yeah, and make the speedrun really difficult too.
Chaos would absolutely murder us at the levels we go in at if the ribbons didn't work.
Yeah, it's just funny. It shows you how important experience grinding is in this game, considering how much you have to do even in an any percent run. You know, even in any percent where we're going in like as low as you can basically go. You know, you still have to spend whatever it is, 45 plus minutes just getting experience points.
There's a number of other fights throughout the game that we're going to take also just because they're really good experience. And it's going to help us avoid another grind like this. And that's part of how the step route lays out for the rest of the game is when we encounter fights, there's 2 reasons we want them. Either it's the safest fight possible, or the other reason is that it's the best experience fight possible. Most of that early fighting that we do is grinding in specific spots just to monopolize on the best thing to kill. As the run goes on, the balance for difficulty to reward for the monsters kind of just goes out the window. So because of that, it's going to be a lot easier to just get experience as we go along. We don't need to optimize as much because everything is great.
But there is one last little 5. Okay, here we go. Alright, so we're just gonna go. Alright, we'll fight this one last thing, save some steps, and this is our last Agama fight, everybody.
Woo! Yeah,
You
we
made
could have
it.
walked around this trap tile, but it's extra steps, so why?
Especially
Little
since,
extra experience is good.
especially since, like, in the step route, we'd have to waste that step anyway at the bottom, so it's...
Right.
See, like, you see, like, I moved to the right there and then down, you'd think that'd be more steps, but because of the lava, it is not.
No, it was actually a pretty good grind, yeah.
Yeah, that one actually, I wish I knew what the time was. It went by pretty well. That wasn't too bad.
You gotta have your splits on the side.
Oh, yeah, I know, right?
This encounter is intentional. It looks like he kind of juked there for no reason, but he's actually ahead on steps, so had to take this encounter first. Get your heals on and let's fight Carrie. The fight that will not kill you. There's no possible way it will kill you, and I'm saying that so that it might kill you.
It'd be pretty hilarious, wouldn't it?
Man, if you somehow died on Carrie, I don't know what we'd do.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah, I'd be like, well, that's it, everybody. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks, everybody. We're gonna show you a title card for the next hour and a half. Take care.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm gonna hop on and do a NMG run real quick.
Break out some Mega Man. I can fill a half hour with that.
There you go. I bet you Link dies the way this run's going.
No. Carrie's so close to dead, yeah. She was...
I see. Carrie, easily the easiest of the fiends.
Yeah, she doesn't have any instant death effects. She can hit kind of hard, but not so hard that it's a problem. She's got some spells, but they're nothing that's so significant that it would kill us or cause us any major inconvenience. And we're just going to resurrect our hero, get some life back by saving. And one thing I don't know if many people notice, as soon as we save the game, Kain resets. It's not a lot, but it saves us whatever time it would take to literally walk out of town. The game's saved, so there's no harm in that. Oh, you're in Melmont.
I have to.
Oh, you have to?
Otherwise, I wouldn't. Trust me.
Breaks your heart, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
So the warp spell is one of those spells that you cannot get until after class change. If there was some way to get warp earlier, like say through a ROM hack or a randomizer, you can actually circumvent most of the ice cave. When you fall down the first hole, you can just warp back to it and then get the floater or whatever's in that chest if it's a randomizer. There's probably a bug here that you can land on this tile. It's it's the only tile in the game that you can interact with, but yet land your ship on. So it's probably a bug.
Yeah, it's gotta be. Because it is also removed from other versions of the game.
Right.
And it seems
and
like
then actually...
And it just seems like they would want you to, you know, go through that desert and everything.
Once you buy the bottle and the caravan is no longer there, it's a normal desert tile, so then you cannot land on that tile again.
There we go, and we got enough gold.
Pro rings are going to protect us from instant death effects that we might run into. There's not a lot of them, but there's just enough that we're going to need this. One instant death effect that it does not protect us from, surprisingly, are the attacks from sorcerers. For whatever reason, probably a bug or an oversight, there is no elemental effect associated with that instant death attack from the sorcerer. So without an elemental a type, there's nothing that we can equip that can resist it.
Nah, they're not that dangerous.
Yeah. KainDeschain being the only guy I've seen on multiple occasions.
Including the first LttC run.
Yeah. On multiple occasions, he will get an encounter that is the end of a run for any other player. And he'll just stroll away like nothing ever happened.
That's right. But it's called skill. You just can't always teach that. Like, as helpful as speedrunners are, usually, there's just some things you can't teach, and that's just one of them.
The skill of being randomly lucky, it's very important.
Yes, very. Okay.
Now, even though we've got the airship, the maps in the northern area are designed in a way to reduce the places where you can actually land the airship. Again, I'm only assuming that's done so that the game is a little longer and that they didn't make this whole big map for no reason.
Another thing you'll notice when I'm near the river is that I'm kind of dipping in and out of it. It's because when you leave or enter the water, it's a free step.
Yeah, anytime you make a change in a mode of transportation, so between land to the ship, between land to the canoe, or from the ship to the canoe, you cannot have an encounter on those when that happens. We suspect that the reason that was done is because how the encounters are calculated. When you get an encounter, it actually pulls the table from the space you just left. So if you could get encounters like that, that would mean that when you get into the ship, you could get an encounter from the land. Or when you get off the ship onto the land, you could get an ocean encounter. That would just be kind of
weird. Again, just trying to get a little more experience here.
Any of these fights that have two of the whiz mummies, the whiz mummies are really good experience, so it's hard to pass up. One whiz mummy, who cares? Just keep going.
Let's just get out of dodge. And you know how we said the whole run that we absolutely hate bats? Well, there is one bat that we adore and we love, and he can be a hero of the run, and hopefully he will bless us with his presence this time. I'll let you take it away, even.
Oh, I want to wait till people see him. I don't want to talk more about it. Yeah.
What if he's not there?
If he's not there, we'll be sad, and we'll talk about his memory.
Okay.
So all these bats that we're seeing get in our way, and there's nothing that we can do about it. We don't get, because of how we have to stand step, or we can only just wait for them to move. If somehow a bat were to never get in our way, we would love the bat.
But I guess there are various bats in various corners of Earth Cave that we don't see, that we also like, but there's only one that we can see.
Yeah, I think that we don't care about them because we can't see them.
Yeah, that's true.
So a lot of out of sight, out of mind.
So let's see, will he bless us? Is he there? Or she? Or they?
Yeah. We don't know.
We have to be respectful. I have never spoken to them, so I can't just assume. And I mean that totally unironically, you know. Link to cure the.
Cure the. There you go.
Alright, let's see. Where is he? Where is it?
There?
Oh no. No bat.
So
no out of bounds bat.
In the inky darkness that is the area that we are not able to get to, there is normally
What, my
a
soul?
bat. He has, for some reason, that bat is he started out of bounds. He can never come back. They can never come back in bounds, and because of that, we love them. They will never get in our way. They will never interact with us. They will always social distance.
They are very responsible.
Yes.
The other bats are just grossly, rude and just.
They're like the worst telemarketers.
Irresponsible.
They won't, the telemarketer that won't get off the phone and won't stop calling. Bats are just like that. Gonna get in your way, try to talk to you. Hey, talk to me. Talk to me. That was actually this trap tile is one of the few encounters in the game that's kind of overloaded. Most trap tiles have a set number of things that can be in them, and the number of things that can be in the tile won't typically exceed the number of options it has available. So in that case, that trap tile, you can have up to 9 creatures in it. Well, it first starts with whiz mummies, and I think it's up to 5 whiz mummies, and then it's up to, I want to say, like 5 regular mummies, and then it's some cockatrices and some paralisks. Well, what can happen is if you get a bunch of mummies, it makes it so that the cockatrices and paralisks can't even spawn in that fight. It is. I've actually died to that tile when it's been nothing but cockatrices and paralisks, turned to stone and death touched, and it's just horrible. But when we had a tile like the one that Kain saw, where it's a big bunch of the whiz zombies.
I mean, 3 whiz mummies is awesome. With mummies, that was some great experience there.
We really want that. That just helps for everything later in the game.
Yeah, because at the end of the game, there's this 5 battle kind of gauntlet we can fight, or not gauntlet, but grind we can do. And the sooner we get level 19 during that, the sooner we can leave. So if we can only fight 3 instead of 5 fights, obviously that's better. So now we're just stocking up on some more houses because, again, we have to really plan out our item
Replace your
purchase.
soft potions. Yeah, don't forget to replace the soft potions you used.
Yep. Did I replace? Did I do more than one? I'll just get one. Doesn't matter.
There was one, I know. Yeah. I'd like one cabin, please.
Yes, one cabin, just
sure.
one cabin, just one.
Be 250 gold. Sweet. Hey, can I get another cabin? Yeah. Oh, here you go.
Did you just get one, or did you? Do you want me to? Do you want to? No, I buy. See, we always kind of like get on the shop owner as the one, but maybe we're just idiots, and we just keep buying it one at a time because we don't know any other way, or we have some kind of,
We could live in a society that mathematics haven't properly integrated into language, so they don't have the capacity to speak of more than one at a time.
Oh,
yeah.
There's lots of possibilities.
Right. So, I mean, it is an old fantasy land. Maybe the nature of their language is either 0 or 1. So there's no way to communicate that you want more than one.
Maybe there's some tradition, like, maybe in the past someone tried to buy 2 heal potions at once and it spilled everywhere and poisoned the village, and so now we...
The heal potion poisoned the village, sure.
Yes. The great heal potion debacle of 6. Of the year 6.
That was the demise of the Sky Warriors.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Can you believe we've been going at this almost 3 hours already?
It has been, hasn't it? So, like other elementals, you cannot run from the water elemental fight. They are... I don't remember if they're weak to ice or strong against everything except ice.
I think they're weak to ice because you can hit them for some pretty good damage.
Yeah. We would prefer to run from them, but have to kill them, no choice.
Are we safe And let's not forget our moment of silence when we get to the mermaid floor after we get this. So normally we don't. The only time we get to hear the full music. That's just some good music right there. That's my favorite song. This is my favorite song in the whole game.
Oh, absolutely.
What am I dropping? I forget.
I can't help you. I won't help you. Alright, good call. Drop those things.
Okay, opal helmet. Opal gauntlet.
And the slab.
Helmet and gauntlet. Oops. Get rid of this
now, warp takes you back to the entrance, and even though this zone is split in half, it's always going to move you towards wherever the entrance is. We're going to take advantage of that so that we don't have to walk back from the chest that has the slab. We're going to get some items here, and then so we don't have to walk to the stairwell, we're going to warp again. Again, those are just subtle optimizations. They help keep the step count where we want it. Another encounter you can't run from, unfortunately, and it's not really a good encounter for us as far as experience and gold rewards go.
And that wizard Sahagan or whatever is more durable than you think. Like, it can survive 2 lightning spells sometimes. Be very annoying.
And it's kind of the double-edged sword. If you get more than one of the Wiz Sahag, that's great because it's worth more experience by a significant amount. However, it makes it a lot harder to finish that encounter.
Bad you see.
We just want to get through this.
We're finally replacing one of those iron armors.
So about what, 2.5 hours after we got it?
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah. Gray sharks are amazing experience.
FF shark doop doo 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 doo. FF shark doop doop doo 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 doo. FF shark doop doop doo 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 doo. FF shark.
No.
Thought you were gonna get away with it, didn't you?
I did. I had forgotten.
I did too. I got to it and then I was like, oh, I missed the shark. That's too bad. But then, good old Sea Shrine to the rescue. The level 12. You see, I'm like making sure to walk in front of every door that I can because it's a free step. There's just a lot of little things.
A lot of little optimizations that make a big difference when you've got such a long distance that you've got to be walking.
Yeah, I mean, the more steps you can save on the encounter table, the better.
The Zeus Gauntlet doing some work.
Yeah, it's nice when you don't throw it away.
And that's one thing that's kind of a bummer in this game. If you drop an item, you can never get it back. If you sell an item to a shop, there's no way to retrieve it.
And this is another weird thing. Like, you would think over here, well, let me after this, like that you can just go any way you want. You know, right side, left side, doesn't matter. You're ultimately going to the upper rightmost square anyway. But the game decides to just throw in this sneaky little door at the top. So you have to hug that left edge. That always used to mess me up when I was learning this game.
Yeah, a lot of times you'll see Kain move and it might look random or sporadic. And now, to be fair, sometimes it is. But for a lot of it, it is very precise. Every step that he takes is intentional and deliberate to ensure how he gets through each area.
Yeah, I mean, there are obviously places where there's some leeway. You don't have to follow exactly as long as you don't repeat any steps. But but that can get you in trouble, especially here where there's just a couple of out of sight places that have free squares that you don't see. We're actually coming up on another one on the next floor. Gee, already level 17. We're doing really,
crazy.
yeah, we're doing really well. Like right here, if you don't go straight down, if you just go over to the right and then down, you miss this free square at the bottom here. So it's, and I figured that out from just years of just examining encounter tables and just grinding out these routes on emulator. So
No, no.
glad all my hard work has paid off. Well, I don't know, maybe a little bit of help. Maybe with like the testing part of it.
Like, is that what it was? Yeah.
Well, let's see. Link to Kirla.
Gonna get another ribbon because they're fantastic.
Nice chance to strike first because they're even more fantastic.
You know, we didn't talk about the crabs, right?
What crabs? We don't talk about the crabs.
I'm sorry, the lobsters.
It was one weekend in Mexico, and I'd rather just forget about it.
No. Why would the lobsters that we encountered there not give to Nami?
Oh, because they're shellfish. Yes, yeah. Yes. You have my chat open for a Kain joke? Is that what it is?
No, I just remember that from last time.
Ah, yes. We don't want to lose donations, even.
I'm sorry.
And knock on wood, this has been a pretty decent sea shrine so far as well.
Yeah, even though we've had a couple of clutch spots, the one death, I think this run has been doing fantastic.
Oh, I mean, yeah, except for like the mummy grind situation, we would be doing really, really well time wise. And even like Ice Cave, it was like an issue. Like we died, but it didn't cost us anything in the end. So.
Poison, no.
So we just gotta keep staying vigilant, keep on keeping on.
So interesting. This room here that has those interior walls, the one that you're above right now, is not a free square, which is kind of interesting because other spots where that type of wall is, whatever's above it is a free square. But that's a free square.
Odd.
Yeah. Single water, gorgeous, because they're just a pain when they come in big packs.
Yes. If only the ice sword worked.
Yeah, if that ice sword did extra damage to waters, oh man. Now, on the other hand, if those elemental effects worked properly, I think you could end up with monsters that could resist your melee damage if it has an elemental associated effect.
So that's not good.
No. So I think in the long run, I think it works in our favor. It just means that weapons that should be of some use are never used. Like the rune sword and the wear sword, they're cute, but there's no reason to ever get them.
Now we are going to be healing everybody up to the max. Because this guy hits like a truck.
Not as bad as he does later when we get to refight him. But for now, it's not great.
No! Bye, the.
We didn't need him anyways.
Yeah. Well, it's just as fast.
Yeah, as fast would have been nice.
Really glad Cure didn't die. Okay, ink. Ink works.
Ink is beautiful. So, odd this, right? Dark is also bugged. It does nothing. It gives the little dark message above where your hit points would normally say HP.
And they're not giving me any like help with this with these damage rolls here either.
This is fantastic. I don't know what you're talking about.
Eight hits?
Yeah. Kraken has 8 arms. He gets to hit 8 times.
I thought that was Cure.
Oh, you're just not hitting very hard at all.
There we go.
There's a good hit.
Sub 3
Finally.
Kraken in a marathon, I'll take it. And we are, and that's just even better we're doing on experience now. Kain, go heal. You're almost dead.
Yeah, you should do that. It would be tragic if something happened.
But see, like, I'm gonna dip out of this river here, and then here, and that just saves us on some steps. Okay, so now we are heading to Melmond again, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's sad.
Fortunately, it's our last trip there. Whoops.
Close enough, right?
Close enough for government work.
Now, at this point, we're prepping to go to the Sky Castle. If it wasn't for the fact that we need to talk to Dr. Un for the slab, we probably would never come here again. The life spell, we'd just have to find a way to get earlier, or the other time we came through here. We're not going to bother with any more black magic for the rest of the game.
I remember Dr. Un was like over here in one of my recent runs. That was pretty nice.
Oh, he just wandered all the way over there, huh?
And we learn Lefanish in 2 seconds.
Right. So we are in a fantasy world where you lack the capacity to express that you want more than one item from a shopkeeper, but you can learn an entire language in moments. That would explain why there's not enough words in the language.
Ah, perhaps. Maybe that's why there's no words for number. Maybe there's no like way to express numbers.
Right.
And so it's only one is the only number that they're personally aware of. And now we're ready for. Now we're gonna make some nice juicy Tyro burgers. Tyros, fun fact, they have the most delicious meat of any of the creatures in the world of Final Fantasy 1.
The amount of experience they give is incredible as well.
Yeah, but that's really secondary to how good Tyro burgers are.
The route that we're following was built by Jair, and I think that was one of his personal pride and joys, was the fact that we were able to get Tyro encounters through this run. I don't believe that was in the original versions. When we came through, or when Jair or others came through here, there was no Tyro encounters.
It's just unfortunate that we can't get the blue Tyro, whatever it's called. I forget.
Yeah, he's
the gyro, I think.
What is it called? Like all of a sudden, I don't remember.
The Byro, the blue.
Not blue.
It's,
I mean, he is blue, but it's not a B.
Batyro.
Now you're making me look it up.
Good.
You're making me
Great
look it up.
Tyro? G Tyro? It was named something else. I forget. Rex? T-Rex? Is it called a T-Rex?
It is a T-Rex. That's what it is. Thank
Nice.
you. So, speaking of the T-Rex, there's a number of different formations. There are 8 different formations in any given area that you can encounter. The most common encounters are the first 2. And I apologize, I don't have the exact numbers off the top of my head. But each subsequent encounter is less common in the table that's built for these areas. The least common encounter is the 8th encounter. In any zone, there's only a 3 in 256 chance to get that 8th encounter. So the T-Rex is one of those. The help me out. The
Saria?
brother, Saria, thank you. The brother of the Agama. The Saria is another one of those.
Or sister, or
sister, or sure.
Nothing at all. And you know, I really don't say that as like, you know, it sounds like maybe I'm mocking that line of thinking, but I'm not really trying to show that, you know, we should take more care in our language, I feel. Anyway, sorry, that's
Oh no, you're fine. The iron golems in the final floor of Temple of Fiends. It was 3 and 256. Originally,
don't we run into those, or those rock goals like the last?
Those are rock goals. No, if we ran into an iron giant, we'd probably die.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's do that.
The Warmech in the Japanese version of Final Fantasy 1 was a 3 and 256 chance, but they changed it. We speculate that it was changed specifically for the Nintendo Power because they had a competition to. Was it show that you killed the? Show that you killed, or show that you encountered Warmech, or something like that.
I think
Send
it
in
was
for a prize.
I think it was killed Warmech. Was it killed Warmech with like a single white mate? No, that wouldn't have been it.
No, no, that would have been crazy. That's crazy talk.
Yeah.
Here the vampires are. There's a group of vampires, so it's no longer a boss fight. Mm-hmm. If we wanted to, we could run from them, but the experience and how easy they are to kill, it's not worth it. We're just going to murder them.
Now,
we're going to do that with a couple of fights in here, actually.
Now, sorry to say, if you were watching like a Gyre speedrun, he would probably know / have the skill to route in a Warmech for everybody, but we are not going to be doing that.
No. Yeah, the Warmech has such a high probability of completely murdering this party. We're not even going to try.
Yeah, because we're not the world record holder / like godfather of the route of this game, so...
I think they did it at a GDQ. I think.
Yeah, they did. That's why that's why their run is like 356 or something crazy. You know.
Yeah, I think they went in. They killed. They killed Tiamat and then went back in again to fight.
Yeah, something
to
along
fight
those
Warmech.
lines.
Because why not? And they killed him, which was amazing.
And I don't even think they had any kind of like remote trouble with it either. Like I think it was just like
no, it was such a perfect fight. It was almost comical how good that fight went for them.
Yeah. That's not. I'm sorry. What?
You gonna talk to the robot?
I will.
You don't have to social distance from robots.
We have the steps. What if it's a Terminator? What if it's Skynet?
That would be bad.
Alright, let's see what this guy says. Are you the master?
Are you?
I am.
Oh, good job.
Alright, house cabin. Hard reset.
And again, that cabin because houses are broken.
And now we are once again on a very tight step route because well, I mean, I guess if you want to listen to Avon, it's dangerous to run into sorcerers and mudgles on floor 4 of the Sky Palace.
Yeah, on the floor just before the boss's floor, there's a group of sorcerers and rock golems that we can encounter. Unless you're Kain, you'll die to that encounter. It's no joke. It is going to end the run. You have a leeway of only... it was 7 or 9 steps through the entire dungeon. So there, you can make a couple of missteps, but you'll see there's some spots where we're going to use the warp spell after getting a chest because it saves a dozen or 2 dozen steps as opposed to just walking back to where we came from. And
I think it's even tighter than 7 because I believe that you run into an encounter 3 steps into the 5th floor, Tiamat's floor. that if you get into that encounter on the previous floor, it's the sorcerers and more. I think I could be wrong, but
Right. So, fun fact: the floor that Tiamat's on has an extremely high encounter rate.
okay.
So the encounters that you would get at a frequency on that floor are different than everywhere else in the dungeon.
I see.
There's a couple of places that they did that. Like, for the vast majority of the entire game, every dungeon has the same encounter rate as every other dungeon. The Tiamat floor has the highest encounter rate in the game. The other 4 floors that have different encounter rates in a dungeon are the Fiend floors in Temple of Fiends. And they're only slightly higher encounter rates, so you almost don't even notice unless somehow you were at a spot in the step count that it would be a significant impact.
I have him. I have 2 equipped with the ice sword. Why am I getting paralyzed? Huh.
Ice sword.
Ice sword. I meant. Yeah.
Shield.
Ice. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
And I don't think it's all. Boy, I wonder if that's correct. I know that when the
it is true. It is true that you can't have a 3 and 50, 250 or whatever on any thing. So yeah.
Yeah, there's always a chance that any effect hitting you or hitting an opponent can be a critical, and there's a 3 in 256 chance of anything being a critical under any situation.
We finally replaced the opal of the iron armor. I mean,
yay! Good job. Sun Sword's fantastic.
All right. So far, so good. We're plugging along.
Cerberus is not a great fight, unfortunately. A lot of the other fights through these floors are real easy for us to deal with. These
they keep casting Scorch on us.
Ooh.
2 robots.
Look at you.
Vampires. That's another thing. Like when as I've said before, I grew up playing this game, love this game. It's one of my favorite games ever. But what I really liked is when I started doing the speed run of it, it was just super awesome to kind of fall in love with the game all over again and play it in a totally different way. It was like rediscovering it again, and it was super awesome. I don't know if you had that same kind of experience, Avon.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It really opened the game up to me again. Thunder is not great here. Several heal potions that we lose when it uses thunder. Not something that we always have to encounter.
Jeez, level 18 already. Like getting it right before Adamant is really good, and we have it now. That's good. So I'm basically gonna run from everything in here, I think.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
No,
so here's one space where we're going to save some steps.
Yeah, if I remember to actually, If I remember to use warp this time.
Good job.
Wish I had my notes open. I always forget that I have to drop something before I pick up the next chest. I think it's 2's helmet, I believe. Yeah, because the ribbon is coming up.
I always forget myself. I'm terrible. I literally, at the moment when I'm doing it, is when I remember.
I haven't used my notes at all this run. Surprised I haven't messed up.
Nice.
I actually haven't made any mistakes anywhere really, which is always nice.
Still a half hour to go.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said yet. You know. Local shield. No nuke yet.
Yeah, if you were needing experience, that'd be a pretty good fight right there. Oh, so the evil men actually have the spell nuke. It is the second spell in their list, so it's very, very unlikely that they would ever be able to cast it. What could happen? I've not seen it yet, and I am maliciously hoping it happens because I am that kind of person. If that encounter were to get the chance to strike first, and the evil man were to then decide to cast a spell, because they don't always have, they're not always going to cast a spell. There's a percent chance on it. So if they decide to cast a spell, their first spell is Exfer. The next spell that they cast would mean that they'd have to, in round 2, they'd have to act before your party. They'd again have to choose a spell, and that spell would be nuke. It would be catastrophic.
Well, not the last run, but the run that we finished, we had one. I'm actually gonna kill this guy. We had one where we got ambushed, and then he cast Exfer, so I was super nervous.
It was scary.
Just for a little bit extra. There we go. Now we can skip the rest unless we get like a strike first whiz vamps or something like that.
Right.
Those are pretty cool. It's always been like one of my favorite floors. I wish we spent more time there.
Do you want to make some mistakes so you get to die to the
absolutely.
sorcerers?
Let's do it. Just to be on the safe side.
I like how you decided to not fight them and then immediately
change my mind. That's par for the course. I hope they don't cast anti-fire.
Right.
Then we're screwed.
So, fun fact: if the Wiz vampires have anti-fire, and if they were to use it, the one who casts the spell never targets himself. He only targets the other members of the party. So that's another bug.
But I also think that it just doesn't even work either. Like I think
it does work.
Really, are you sure?
It does work for him.
Really?
Sure. Yeah.
Huh. I thought that their weakness over. Oh, did you see that?
I missed it. What'd you do?
No. It just showed exactly what happened. He cast anti-fire, but he was the only one left. So nothing happened. I've never seen that before, and it's funny that right after you mentioned that. Bum, 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 bum.
Nice.
I'm tempted to take it, but I just wanted to run.
You don't need it. Yeah. No sorcerers today, huh?
No sorcerers today. Hopefully. I mean, hey, we can still mess it up pretty bad.
So for some reason, the air elemental encounters you can run from. Something else that we suspect is a bug because you can't run from any other elemental encounters.
A nacho fight.
That's nacho fight. Run away. Get your heal on. Game being extra helpful moving your party around.
That's right.
I think it is fortunate that we can run from those, because man, what a pain it would be.
Yeah, it would be if we couldn't. Oh.
We're just chugging on all those heal potions.
Yeah.
Every one of these heal potions we use, we've got to replace. Tiamat isn't particularly too dangerous. There is a chance that he could.
I believe Tiamat is a she.
Oh, she. Yeah, you're right. I think you're right. She could kill some party members. It's unlikely, but now that we've got those fast spells out, we should be all right. Unless you're going to hit like that, because that was terrible.
I don't know. Not much to do now with Cure.
A lot of hold A and pray. Bane Sword, if we get extremely lucky, now it's not extremely, it's 1 in 8 chance that Bane Sword's going to work, but it's not
Nice.
it's not something that ever comes through when you really need it to. And there you can see the difference between having a ribbon and not. Just the extra damage that it did to the... Or does the have a ribbon?
No, well, they all have ribbons, but and Link has the
Aegis Shield and
Aegis Shield
Armor.
Dragon Armor, yeah.
So then you see a random chance that it just does more damage even though you're resistant. 3 damage. That's a good hit.
No.
I believe in you. Is not
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, he's also just got the Sun Sword, but...
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, very nice. Jeez.
She's actually starting to really hurt your party.
I know, right? Oh, because my party's hurting itself with all these...
Yeah.
Sad damage rolls. Thank you.
There you are. Took a little bit, but we got there. Now, all those triangles you just walked across, those are all safe squares also. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, nice. I did not know that. Oh, actually, I did know that now that you say it. Don't poison me. Thank you. And now...
That's it. We're on the home stretch now. Finish up by buying a bazillion heal potions one at a time.
It's always so fun to do. And it's about half an hour, I believe, from killing T-Mat to the end of the game.
Yeah, that's about right.
Ish.
Give or take, depending on things like how many heal potions did you use, how much experience are you at.
Yeah.
But that's definitely a safe bet. Oh, hey, can I get a heal potion, please?
Oh, yeah, so you can have one.
Yeah, just one. That's great. Thanks. How much is that?
That's going to be 60 gold.
It is 60 gold. Okay, let me count.
60 gold, 60 gold, okay?
60 gold's fine. Yeah, that'll be fine.
Thank you. What else? What do you want?
Oh boy, I'd really love a heal potion.
60 gold. 60 gold, okay?
Is one heal potion is 60 gold? Is that what I paid last time? Was 60 gold?
60 gold, okay?
Yeah. All right. Okay.
What do you want?
60 gold? A heal potion would be great.
60 gold, okay?
I suppose.
Thank you. What else? What do you want?
Boy, what else do you have? Oh, you know what? A heal potion. I would love a heal potion.
60 gold, okay?
Yeah, I suppose. All right, yeah, 60 gold.
Thank you. What else? What do you want?
He's kind of rude, isn't he? What do you want?
Well, I think because it's funny. I was like, well, thank you. What else? But then you don't even answer, and then you're just like, what do you want?
What do you want?
What do you want?
What else?
And maybe
what do you want?
And another thing is maybe TMI, but I have to pee so bad right now, so this is gonna be a pretty rough half an hour. Let me tell you. It's really fun buying all these heal potions with a full bladder. Let me tell you.
I would say, oh man, that is probably the most brutal thing about this run, is that for almost 4 hours you cannot get up.
Well, I got a piss cup for a PB attempt. But...
Oh, good. That's horrifying. That's TMI. I didn't need to know that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Man, maybe I'm going a little more blue. Tristan's gonna punch me in the face.
Some adult diapers might work you though.
Ah.
Oh, I can't imagine. I've seen, you see some of those runs at GDQ where they're sitting on that couch for 6.5 hours. How'd you guys do it? I have no idea.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least like the commentators can kind of switch in and out and everything, but the runner there. And I think there's it depends on the run. I mean, there are some like Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy X where there are, you know, you can run off, and if you're lucky. Although I don't know there how close the bathrooms are, to be perfectly honest, and if it's probably going to be lines maybe, so maybe you can't.
I'm not going to run off camera. I'm going to walk.
I mean, maybe if you're running
with
Final
purpose.
Fantasy, maybe if you're running Final Fantasy X during like the Macalania, Titus and Yuna.
Oh yeah, 10 you
scene
could
or
literally get up and do a dance, and you wouldn't. You'd have plenty of opportunity.
I prefer if you were quiet. Apparently that guy bans anybody who like mentions that incident. Like the guy who was like the mustache guy.
What happened?
Well, you don't know what I'm referencing there?
No, I have no idea. I haven't
Oh,
seen it.
well, there was this GDQ run where this guy had a commentator, but it was someone on the couch like who wasn't even like, you know, his friend or anything like that, and the guy was just being like really obnoxious and everything like that. And so, you know, eventually the guy was just like, I prefer if you were quiet. So that's kind of become like a famous meme, so to speak.
Brutal.
Adamant.
Oh man, you get a sword?
I did.
That's fantastic.
Alright, so now we can finally go off into the ether here. Okay. Alright, so...
Your situation that you're in currently with the need to use the restroom is reminding me of Final Fantasy run at the end of a GDQ. And my gosh, who was running it? I'm drawing a blank. I'm the worst person in the world. I don't even know. One of the commentators, though, was a gal who does Final Fantasy that's fantastic, Tina Hacks. She was talking about when someone handed her a water bottle in the middle of the stream. She just took the water bottle, shoved it into the couch cushions so that she wouldn't even be tempted to drink it by accident.
Oh, Yep, so now this is that little 5-fight grind I told you about. That could be 1, 2. I don't know how much experience I have. I didn't check, but
yeah, if we with a little more attention to where our experience is, we could probably just skip all of these or skip some of them. But the way that we've got this routed is these encounters are actually really important to the next bit we do as we go through the dungeon. These 5 encounters, if we died or messed up, we would have to skip these 5 encounters anyways. So we might as well fight them for experience.
Yep. And the real important thing is we want Cure to be level 19. That's really all we care about.
Plexel. How could I forget?
Ah, Plexel.
Plexel is running a FF6 at a GDQ. Yeah.
I used to watch. So I watched so many of his Final Fantasy IV runs. He's one of those people where it's like, I don't know why I like watching him. Like, you know, like he's interesting. No, he's interesting. That's the thing, is like he's interesting, and it's like, but I don't know. I couldn't like pinpoint why. You know, he's just very like, I don't know, informative and like kind of, I don't know, just interesting.
I think it comes down to there are some speedrunners who have an incredible charisma. They are very soft-spoken. They could literally be reading the phone book, and you would be enthralled. I think you would definitely fall into one of those runners.
Oh yeah, that's why my 1.6 average viewers per stream says that.
I want Bubble Bobble.
I
You
won't.
gotta-
I know. I
you gotta-
I could do Bubble Bobble streams. That's where the real money is.
Oh right, yeah. That's what you're missing.
That's what Ludwig should play on his subathon. Just quap and Bubble Bobble.
Non-stop. I don't think that's gonna work for you very well.
No, unfortunately, nobody appreciates a good quap stream anymore. Desert bus rando.
So I hate to admit it, I'm sorry, man. My commentary is like, the barrel is dry right now.
Well, you know, we're just gonna have to just keep on keeping on. I think the barrel's been fairly dry for about an hour and a half or so. We've just been powering through the best we can. All right, so we will need this last fight.
I thought I had plenty to say. How could you,
So
good sir?
let's hope we get 19 in this fight.
You should be fine.
Getting some Chimeras would be nice. 2 Chimeras, let's go. 1.
Or not.
Alright. This should do it.
Do I need to bring up my the route just in case?
Aye.
Oof. That'd be a super bummer.
Well, it's not really that big of a deal. He already got his 15, level 15. Oh my goodness.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
How much does he need?
400.
Oh, that's such a bummer. So, I guess,
what's next?
I wouldn't go for what's next, because it's going to mess everything up. So, I would warp out of here. I would save without using a cabin. I'm sorry, without using a house. How many warps you got left?
2. I'll just walk out.
Yeah, just walk out.
Oh wait, but there's all steps now that I just wasted.
That's fine.
good.
Everything's messed up anyways. Save and power cycle.
Oh yeah, that's right. House and save?
No, just cabin. Because you have two warps left, right?
Yeah.
All right. Power cycle. Skip 3 encounters.
I know what we can do. Yeah, just take that. Just take one fight and then, yeah.
All right, now go in, take the first Chimera fight,
And then skip 4.
Yeah. And skip 4 in Temple of Fiends.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's...
Have any ice tube left?
Oh, that's perfect. Look at that.
Aye.
That was a really good ice hit on that second guy.
And we have like a 10-minute buffer too, right? On top of it all.
Yeah, you're fine on time.
Yeah, we're fine on time. Yeah. All right, here we go. But you see how like, you know, it's not silly to like take a couple more fights, you know?
Right.
Where it's like it really does come down to one fight sometimes.
You know what it comes down to? Remember that sentry fight you skipped?
Yeah.
Literally that sentry.
Yeah, literally that's or any of the fights really. And now.
Yeah, house and cabin.
And then skip 4 inside.
Skip 4 inside. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, come on.
Where you at? Where you at?
Baby, where you at? Let's just go get some extra items while we're at it that we won't keep.
Sure. Show everybody how nice this place looks inside.
Yeah, exactly. What was that? 2?
That was 2.
That's 3.
Yep.
Jeez, look how far you can get.
All right, there it is. Now it's for real. All right, there are 21 encounters left in this game.
Nice. It's always nice to run into those zombies right there.
Yeah, you want to get them as close to the orb as possible. Really helps out, just even that extra step.
All right, here we go.
We're doing it. Doing it live.
We're doing it live. Nice. Good start.
Yeah, the frost from the frost giants, it's not a lot of damage, but when they all get to kick that off, it puts such a damper in your health potions really early on. Because you've got only 99 health potions, that sounds like a lot, but a heal potion is only 30 hit points. It's not much in the grand scheme of things. And it's very easy to get to Tiamat and have completely exhausted all of your heal
Yeah,
potions.
and that's rough when you can't fully heal for chaos for sure. Batman.
Really, sometimes I have to wonder what the names are for these monsters in the Japanese version, how that would translate. I know a lot of the choices that they made for these names come down to how many characters it is in English. The Japanese language is so much easier to represent with limited character space because a single character can be a word or even a phrase. Phantom brings it home with only 1 experience and 1 gold.
Phantom.
Phantom.
Oh, come on.
That was not great. Hey, he didn't X anybody.
Yet.
7 damage. Good job.
Nice.
There you go. Done. So yeah, I have to wonder, so Phantom gives you only 1 experience and 1 gold. Like, why, right? Like, sure, you're pretty much done with the game.
Oh
Doesn't
wow!
matter.
Finally used the loot. Oh, I should have shown that was yeah. That's alright.
So that door is another one of the examples of progression locking. It does require the key in order to get past it. There's no way you could be at this. You could not be here at this point of the game without the key, because you wouldn't have been able to get the TNT. So.
Worms.
Looking good. Another fight you can't run from. They're really good experience though, so it's not that bad.
Even though at this point experience is fairly trivial.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple extra stats doesn't hurt. I'm sure.
Where the experience really pays off at this point is for the fighters. If you are at a point where the fighters get to level up before chaos, it's just a bonus. It's extra hit points, a little extra damage. Oof, Blizzard, not good.
Yeah, it's also not nice when you forget to put the ribbon back on Dan before.
So now coming up, we're going to be fighting Lich, and in almost all situations, Lich is going to cast Nuke on your party. Even if you can kill him in 1 round, it's just so likely to cast Nuke. And the mages will not survive. They don't have enough hit points. We're not going to put them in a situation where they have enough hit points. So what we're going to do is we're going to intentionally get them turned to stone.
See, I don't even know because I know it's BCAD, but at this point, or BC, whatever, CDAB, But now I
Yeah,
don't know, so it didn't tell me.
You'll get there.
Alright.
Now, the reason we're using Ruse and the defense sword, we don't want them to punch us, because we could lose a lot of health. We could get stunned like this just happened there. We want them to use Glance, and we want them to use Glance on the first 2 party members. Glance has a chance to turn to stone. Not working yet. It's kind of a bummer. We're just going to show off some items. Show that Excalibur. Make them afraid. Falcon. Ooh, scary.
Oh, hold on. I did unequip the ribbons.
I hope so. For the... Oh, man. They are just not helping you at all.
Don't bane them.
Yeah, Bane would be not great.
There we go.
There's one. So now that changes the dynamic a lot for the chance to be targeted. It is now a 66% chance, roughly, that Cure will be targeted. But apparently we're going to lose all our time right here.
Yeah. There we go.
Finally. All right.
Oops.
There you go. Bane sword. You got it. Fortunately for us, the Grey Medusas, or the Gretchen Medusas. That's a G.
Oh.
Sorry about the doggo.
It's alright. He's just a pup. He's just a pupper doing his best.
The Gretchen Medusa are weak against Bane, so it makes it really nice to take them all out that way.
Nucleus Lich. Can we get some?
Oh man.
Whatever accounts for blessed RNGs these days in chat.
The dream.
Oh, you can't do that. I do still have both of those on them, right? Okay.
I remember, I think it was you. Ugh, yeah. Was it you? You got turn 1, Lich didn't cast Nuke, but then you didn't kill Lich in turn 1.
Yeah.
That was really sad. RNG Zeus did bring the thunder as we got nuked.
Right.
So even though we've just killed Lich, it's not like the orbs where when you kill the orb it goes away and you don't fight Lich again. These are done with trap tiles. If we left the dungeon or if we somehow had to backtrack, we'd have to fight Lich again.
Yep, like if I had walked back onto that square, we would have gone.
And because you have to walk off the stairs in order to walk back on them to activate, if somehow you made the mistake where you went back up a floor, you'd be stuck. We've got a few extra steps here, so we're gonna, after we fight
four fires.
Yeah.
Fire! Nice.
Because we've got some extra steps, we're gonna go get a pro cape. It's nice that it's got 8 absorb.
Nice.
It's not super critical. Like if we didn't have the steps, it wouldn't be the end of the world if we didn't get it. But...
It is pro though.
Oh, it professional. The professional cape.
The professional cape, yes.
Yeah, it offers no status protection like the pro ring does, which is kind of a bummer.
But it's got protection from losing your swag.
Protection from damage?
More Agama in case you guys didn't get enough of them earlier.
I feel like we've failed by not having enough aggro effects for everybody.
Cure is the good one.
Yeah, Cure's your good one. So there's a couple of different schools of thought for how you do this. I've seen people that don't bring either of the mages out until Kraken, or at Kraken they only bring out one of the mages.
Two, you jump the gun.
Yeah, both of them did. Again, Carrie not particularly dangerous. She can hurt. She can cause us to use a lot of heal potions. Or maybe murder Link, because why not?
Nah.
There we go. All right, 2 got there.
666.
Scary.
That can't be a... We're doing okay on heal potions, depending on how Kraken 2 goes. So this next boss that we're going to fight is the most dangerous boss in the entire game.
Yeah, the whole run may just be over at Kraken 2. And unfortunately, there's really almost nothing that we can do about it. We're going to try to mitigate it with some ruse spells on the fighters. But it is so possible that we just die right now. It is hands down the #1 fight in the game that has ended more runs than any other at 3 hours and 40 minutes into the run. So I'm just going to spend my time holding my breath because I'm afraid.
Same.
You gonna bring the back, or you gonna leave him?
I am going to bring him back.
Yeah.
For the extra fast fun. Now let's make sure we equip those ribbons back on everybody. The pro cape and give this back to him. Not that it matters, but
All right, best of luck.
thanks. Actually,
Yeah, this was something that I recall Jair actually spending a lot of time with. Reviewed all the possible RNG chances to just see how likely it is that you die on this fight.
there we go.
Lightning 2 is the first thing. That is beautiful. It's exactly what we want. We don't want him to swing because he punches so hard. It's one of the few fights in the game where the enemy can do 1,000 damage. And it'll actually do more than 9999. Or 999, right?
Mm-hmm.
The games actually has the capacity to display more than 3 characters of damage. For whatever reason, they decided that your party... That's fantastic. So that ruse saved his life. Because otherwise it would have been way worse. But I was saying, the game has the capacity to display more than 3 characters for damage. But for some reason, when they programmed the damage that you would do to an enemy, they hard capped it at 999.
I should maybe say for Cure 2, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, maybe.
Man,
Yeah, I think you're good on potions, so
we are
Boy,
getting so lucky. This is like
Kraken
this
would
is as
be
good
really
as you
nice.
can possibly like hope for.
yeah, that's
Nice.
that's great.
That goes a long way towards making sure the run is gonna be fine. I mean, I'm not counting my chickens quite yet, but I mean, because Chaos can still just cure for you to death. So I mean, it's...
Yeah, we've
With-
got to be able to kill Chaos before he can cast his 8th spell, actually. If he does get Cure 4 off, it's fine. It's going to make the run take longer, but it's not normally the end of the world. The problem is when he casts Nuke, his 8th spell, we're so far into the run at that point, or we're so far into the fight at that point, that we're out of resources to survive. He also casts Fast as one of his spells, which means that if he's not casting, he's punching us harder. So we want to hope that we kill him before he's even cast fast.
And fast is his what spell?
Oh, I don't know. God dang it.
Is it his after? It's the
Seventh?
after
I think
cure
it's
4?
his-
Oh, no, it's after cure 4.
I think it's his 7th, yeah. I don't even remember his spell order now. But I know that 4 is cure 4, right? Our hope, our dream is that we manage to get both of our fighters fasted before they swing, because then that gives us that much more damage. And then if before Chaos does his 4th spell, we've killed him. He has all sorts of things that he can do other than spells. He can directly attack. Direct attacks are kind of scary, though, because he has a chance to paralyze. He can use abilities, and we'd actually prefer to see the abilities. That's like Swirl and Thunder and other
Inferno,
elemental abilities that just do damage, but they don't, other than the damage they do, they don't negatively impact us. They don't stun, they don't silence or anything crazy like that.
And here's the last random encounter of the game, right here. It is a rock goal.
The slow is fine, it doesn't hurt us. Oh, fun fact, slow reduces the number of attacks that you get. So if you are a character or if you're early in the game and you can only do 1 attack anyways, slow has no effect.
And I believe this iteration isn't weak to Bane, correct?
That is correct. Yeah, the refights, they are functionally different monsters in that they have more hit points, their stats are different, the AI is usually about the same, but their spell pool is different, as we saw on Lich when he's got Nuke. Bane hopefully does not. Excellent. Yeah, Tiamat's got some instant kill spells here that can be a problem. There's always a chance that they can get a critical through your
3-round
resistances.
Tiamat 2 of shame here.
Yeah.
This better do it. There we go.
There it is. That's what you need to see. That's fantastic. The reason Tiamat is so much easier here is 100% because of that Mass Mune. The damage on that weapon is so astronomically high compared to everything that you've had access to at this point.
I mean, without it, it'd be basically impossible.
Well, I wouldn't say impossible, but it would definitely be a lot longer. It'd be more like the fight that we did in the Sky Castle, where it just round after round of 100 or sub-100 damage. So a couple of things here. We're putting the ribbon on Link so that we have extra resistance. Link is not the strongest hitter, but he's up there.
Oh, wait, oops.
You need 2 and Link to switch, yeah.
Oh, look at it, it's Garland.
Oh, it is Garland. Oh, no.
I don't know if we
There's
can
a
take...
story about a time loop and some other stuff like that, and I don't know. It's all nonsense. So the reason we put 2 at the back of the party is he's got the Mass Mune. It is the best weapon, and I really wish he would have waited.
Well, it's not terrible.
Yeah,
We're about 300. We're about 300-ish.
Yeah.
Spell right off the bat.
We leave Link at the second party member because he's got a lot of armor. It's really nice. Even though he is one of our primary attackers, we also need somebody to tank some hits.
This is not good. 2 spells right off the bat.
Yeah.
We're at about 500, 650. I don't even know what to do here. I don't know.
A lot of just push the button.
Oh my god.
No, that's fine. Slow
No,
on
no, no, but
damn,
I'm saying that's his
or
third.
slow on
That's
the.
his third
That's
spell
perfect.
already.
Oh yeah, there's that too, right? We might be starting over here. Because you're only about 1,000 in right now.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
15.
All right.
Crack. That's not great, but poor the gets to go to Melmond. He's still on the cusp of casting a cure spell, which would be a big bummer.
We just need. He's got like 200 hit points, dude. Come on. Yeah, we got it.
Is it gonna? Oh man. Whew.
Nice.
Great job.
We did it.
Hit your timer.
Ooh.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for our journey on this.
I mean, that was a pretty solid run because I mean, we lost like 6 minutes or something, and just from the mummy grind.
Oh,
Crap.
you know, any run with a marathon safe strategy that puts you under 4 hours is an amazing run.
Yeah.
You know, again, thank you to everybody that's made this possible. Everybody with a link to the cure. Everybody that's helped with these runs for Final Fantasy.
And what are we, Tristan? What are we up until? We got what, 20 minutes? We got like 20 minutes to kill.
You have 20 minutes to kill? You have 20 minutes to kill.
Yeah. Oh,
you
5
got 5
minutes.
minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
oh,
good.
you're sweet.
Okay, sweet. 5 minutes to kill. Jeez. Oh yeah, because we didn't start like right at 11:40. All right, so how about we? I guess we can show off the Ardrick's grave here.
Show off the gal in Canaria too.
And so, how am I exactly passing off? Am I just stop streaming, or do I have to do anything besides just stop streaming when you tell me to? Oh, okay, all right, that works.
Yeah,
So
get out.
So right here.
Poor Edric. This was
Oh.
changed in later versions. I think it's Link in one other version, and then
Whoops.
I have no idea.
All right, cool. Let's see if we can find this lady or not.
Have you seen her before? Do you know where she's at?
I have, but she's over. You have to go over to the left here, right?
Yeah. So this happens because when you enter rooms, it makes everyone outside the room disappear. Is she there? There she is.
So
Yep.
you are the light ward. Let's see if we can.
So you might be able to get her to show up if you go into the room down here. Or yeah, no, actually, I think you're right. Go all the way up to the top, maybe. I think you. Yeah, camera can't get up high enough. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to show that I thought there's something wrong with the stream there for a second. We're trying to show that when you go into a room, how some guys appear and disappear. Yeah, I don't know where she's at. Oh well.
Yeah, she took off. Oh, is that her?
Oh, that.
No.
I don't know.
I guess maybe they never show up.
I always thought they did. Well, that's on me then. I'm sorry.
Oh well. No, I think you're right though. I think I have seen them before. And
Danny, thank you so much for the donation.
And I guess the last thing we can show off is the 55 puzzle thing. I just have to go find my
Your boat, wherever that is.
What are we up to now for the counter? I don't have the stream open.
Stream is showing 1,119 and 88 cents.
Awesome. Alright, so this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I would not count that out loud. I would just jam on it until you get there.
Yeah, that's true. But I guess it doesn't matter if you go over.
Right. The other thing, you're not hitting your buttons simultaneously.
Yes,
So
I am.
hold B. I can see your little thing flashing. So hold B, now do it. Here. The list of that ocean music while we spam on these buttons.
Ba, 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 ba.
I don't think that's helping. I don't know why that's not coming up.
There
There
we
it
go.
goes.
And forget me actually being able to solve one of these things.
You should do there's actually a speedrun for this puzzle. It's terrible. I think I did it like a minute 20 or something like that.
Oof,
The
wow.
guy who's got world record on this is like 48 seconds or something crazy. You're gonna lose friends, man.
How am I gonna lose friends? Everyone loves me. What?
You're not very good at these, are you?
No. But I did say that. Nice.
Alright, now everything's messed up.
Sweet. All right. So, what else have we got going on here? Let's see. What else can we? Nothing like forcing 5 minutes of dead air.
Maybe it might be better with dead air.
Oh, I know what we do. All right, cutting you off now. All right. Thank you very
All
much,
right.
everyone. Have a
Guys,
good one.
thanks a lot. Take care.